Suburban office love working in IPA because of unlimited income potential. Create your own promotion. Call IPA at 800-531-2542. Weekdays between 7 and 5. Tell them you're looking for a change.
For the Cubs, a quick trip home was just what the doctor ordered. Ted Lilly struck out 7 and brought his bat as the Cubs put the NL Central on alert. With the win, they regained a share of first place. Now it's back on the road in Houston. Cubs and Astros next. We're inside Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas for Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. And the Cubs open up a 3-game series here in Houston after that quick detour home, which featured a blowout win over the St. Louis Cardinals. And checking in on the updated standings, coupled with the Brewers' shutout loss in Pittsburgh, the Cubs are in a first-place tie. The Cardinals are 3 back, and tonight's opponent, the Astros, pulling up the rear right now, 11 games out in the division. And hi again, everyone. Along with Bob Renly, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs back in first place, and we talked yesterday about the superstars shining here over the final few weeks, and that's exactly what happened for the Cubs.
Yeah, the 2 big superstars in the middle of that lineup, Derek Lee, Aramis Ramirez, really jumped up in yesterday's ball game, flexing their muscles. Derek Lee, good to see him pulling the ball. Aramis Ramirez, with a very controlled, easy swing, was able to generate a lot of power. Hopefully the historical numbers will hold up. Derek Lee's best RBI month throughout the course of his career has been September, and last year at the end of a miserable season, Aramis Ramirez hit .304 with 7 homers and 30 RBI in the month of September.
12 total bases for Ramirez. Also, Jock Jones had 3 hits yesterday as well in the same lineup, 1 through 8 for Lou Piniella tonight. Now the pitching matchup, a couple of guys who not only can pitch but can hit, Jason Marquis and Brandon Backey.
Yeah, both these guys can swing the bat, hiding down there in the 9 spot in the lineup. Backey coming back from Tommy John surgery. This will be his second start back since the surgery. And Jason Marquis, you see what he did against Houston back on September 1st.
So for Jason Marquis, again, he beat the Astros 2 starts ago. He's now 7-3 against the National League Central. We'll have Cubs baseball coming up next.
Recognize your loved ones on the sidewalks beneath the historic Wrigley Field marquee. Through the commemorative paver program, you can join thousands of fans in celebrating the day you became a Cubs fan, declared your loyalty, or preserved your favorite Cubs moment. If you're a Cubs fan, how can you pass up this opportunity to become part of Wrigley Field? Each order includes a replica paver for your home or office and makes a perfect gift. So to purchase, visit Cubs.com or call today. Space is limited, so order now.
Hot, sticky weather is here. You can try to cool yourself this way or go to the experts at QC Auto Service Centers. They'll keep you cool, calm, and happy all summer long. The highly trained and certified technicians at QC Auto Service Centers will check it out and fix it right the first time.
Hot under the collar? Don't sweat it. Come see us.
The place to go for air conditioning service. QC Auto Service Centers, keeping you on the road.
Lucky you. Your local True Value has everything you need to take care of life's little surprises, and you'll get in and out fast. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
Replace it, repair it, restore it, enjoy it at K&K True Value Hardware, 18th and Grant Street in Bettendorf.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Chevy. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. Your local area Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Ricoh, how well do you print, copy, scan, fax? How well do you share? Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, shining through. Cadillac, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit. And by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares farther. Visit Southwest.com.
Welcome back to Minute Maid Park. We're indoors tonight. Some rain in the area, but that is not an issue. Looks like they had a little bit of a leak earlier. But everybody dry inside. And it'll be Alfonso Soriano to lead it off. We'll get the rest of the Cubs Southwest starting lineup here in a moment. Right-hander Brandon Backey in just his second start since returning from Tommy John surgery. And a first pitch strike on Soriano. Backey working with Humberto Quintero, the catcher. And pop foul and back out of play. 12 runs for the Cubs yesterday against St. Louis on 17 hits. Tied their season high in runs. And they'll try to just keep that momentum going. If you include yesterday as part of the road trip, the Cubs are 2-2. 3 here in Houston, 4 coming up in St. Louis. Swing and a miss. That's strike 3. 1 out. And let's check in on the rest of the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Ryan Theriot coming up. Derek Lee with that big day yesterday. Cliff Floyd cleaning up again. Aramis Ramirez with 2 home runs. DeRosa's at second. Jones in center. Kendall the catcher. Jason Marquis the pitcher. And ball 1 rides a little bit inside Ontario.
You mentioned the big day offensively for the Cubs yesterday, and they did it without getting very much from the top 2 guys in the order. Soriano had a base hit in the 6th inning. He also drew a walk in the 4th. Theriot was 0 for the afternoon, but the guys in the middle and the bottom of the Cubs lineup really came through in a big way.
Ryan hitting .341 versus the Astros this year. The Cubs went 6-3 against Houston at Wrigley Field, but they were swept here in early August. And now it's 3-0. Cecil Cooper, the interim manager of the Houston Astros. He was Phil Garner's bench coach, and since Garner was fired and Cooper took over, the Astros are 4-8. They had yesterday off as Theriot reaches on the walk. So a 1-out base runner. That's good to see with Ryan Theriot battling through an 0 for 9. Very patient at bat, taking the 4-pitch walk and bringing up Derek Lee.
Atlanta, was just so ironic. We talked before yesterday's ball game about the importance of Derek Lee and Aramis Ramirez and Alfonso Soriano, your high-priced superstar players. It was time for them to step it up, and I'll tell you, Derek Lee took that to heart, doubling and scoring in the 1st inning, hit a home run in the 4th, single in the 6th. Ramirez had a big day as well. Right on cue, the big boys showed up.
Breaking ball misses low and outside, and a quick throw to first, and Theriot was back in plenty of time.
We should point out Brandon Backey features a fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. He doesn't throw the changeup to right-handed hitters very often. His out pitch is usually that hard slider down low and away.
And a bouncer fouled past third base. Call made by Eric Cooper, the third base umpire.
I mentioned that home run for Derek Lee in the 4th inning yesterday. Came on a hanging slider, stayed over the middle of the plate, reached out and hooked it back to left field. And as I mentioned in the open, that's a good sign for me. Derek Lee has seen so many pitches on the outer part of the plate. Good to see him react quickly when he has a mistake on the inner part and be able to pull that ball to left field. Especially important in this ballpark because of the short porch out there and left.
Yeah, it's very inviting, especially for right-handed hitters. We've talked many times about how spacious this park is once you get out into left center. Now 1 ball 2 strikes.
A very short 315 down the left field line with that out-of-town scoreboard. You get over into left center and straightaway center and even into right center. You really got to poke it to get it out of here.
Decent lead by Terrio. Here's the pitch. Downstairs. Backey with a quick look at Terrio. Ryan not running, and this one bounced foul.
One thing about Backey, coming off that Tommy John surgery, as you mentioned, Len, only his second start this season since returning from the surgery. His velocity used to sit comfortably in the low 90s. Occasionally he would approach 93, 94 with his fastball, but his velocity's down a little bit with the heater until he continues to pitch and build up some arm strength here at the end of the season. It's a considerable drop in velocity. Might see a lot more breaking balls from Backey, given that fact.
Well, that last pitch was a slider. Called strike 3. That was a fastball that was well placed. Eric didn't like the call from Andy Fletcher. 2 down in the inning.
Once again, teams going to that outside corner against Derek Lee. This time a little straight changeup that tailed back over the outside corner in the estimation of Andy Fletcher working the plate tonight.
Mike Riley at first base. He's the crew chief. Jeff Kellogg at second, and we mentioned Eric Cooper over at third. So it's Cliff Floyd with 2 outs. Breaking ball for a strike. Cliff went 1 for 3 with a walk, an RBI, and a run. And the Cubs 12-3 win over St. Louis. Cardinals are in Cincinnati. Milwaukee is at Pittsburgh again. We will keep you posted. Can tell you that Prince Fielder's hit his 44th home run, and Milwaukee has a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th at PNC. Giovanni Gallardo pitching well for the Brewers. Brian Bullington, a right-hander, pitching for the Pirates. And the Reds have just put up a 6th spot, and they're still batting in the bottom of the 3rd inning, leading 7-1. Mark Mulder got hammered tonight, and he's still in the ballgame. 2 2/3, 7 hits, 7 runs, 2 home runs allowed by Mulder in just his second start since coming back from injury.
Yeah, it's not easy pitching your way back at the major league level. You know, a lot of guys this time of year coming off of injuries. There's nowhere to go on a rehab assignment to build up the arm strength and the velocity necessary to come back and compete at the major league level.
Matt Belisle pitching for the Reds. 1-2 to Cliff Floyd. This one is a rocket foul into the second level. There are 4 decks, if you include that suite level just above us.
Well, Houston used to be one of those trips that I never really circled on the calendar because you had to play at the old Astrodome, and that was just a dismal place not only to watch a ball game but to play a ball game. This is state of the art here. The fans are very fortunate to have this wonderful stadium here.
One and 2 on Floyd. Here's the next pitch. Drifts outside.
Lou once again splitting up Derek Lee and Aramis Ramirez with Cliff Floyd in that 4 spot. I'd like to see some production out of the left-handed hitters. Just haven't provided the kind of pop that I think everybody expected Cliff Floyd and Jock Jones were going to supply for this ball club this year.
Left-handed hitters for the Cubs have hit just 22 home runs combined all year. That one smacked into center. Terrio's going to make the turn, head to third. Pence's throw will be cut off by the shortstop Loretta. First and third with 2 outs. Well, Cliff had some good swings in that at bat.
That was one of his patented line drives up the middle of the field that just seemed to defy gravity. Went by Backey shoulder high. Carried all the way out into shallow center field. Pence tries to throw to third base to get Terrio right here. A different runner other than Cliff Floyd maybe advances to second base on that throw. It got over everybody on its way to third base.
Now it's Ramos batting fifth once again. He will hit fourth tomorrow. Well, I should go back on that. Troy Patton, the left-hander, was originally scheduled for the Astros, and Lou said he was going to have Lee and Ramirez back-to-back in the lineup tomorrow, but now it's a right-hander, Matt Albers. Some soreness for Patton, not sure where, but he is not going to start game 2. It'll be the right-hander Albers instead. Lou also indicated that he was going to give Terrio the night off and start Ronnie Cedeno in game 2. Yeah, back on the home run ball, the Cubs have got 98 home runs from righties, 22 from lefties.
Well, you look at this graphic and you wonder why the Cubs have struggled the way they have against left-handed pitching. You can see what they've done in the month of September. 5, 4, and 3 home runs for Soriano, Ramirez, and Lee.
Fouled off the end of the bat.
I mean, if you're a left-handed starting pitcher in the National League and you look at this Cubs lineup, this is not a team you want to face. Bunch of strong, powerful, high average hitting right-handed batters in the lineup, but yet the Cubs have not been able to put a whipping on a lefty with consistency all summer.
First and third, 2 outs. Cubs threatening in the opening inning. A fly ball hit to right. Luke Scott's going to drift a little bit, but has plenty of room to haul it in. A walk, a single, no runs. Jason Marquis will go after the Astros offense when we return to Houston.
It's the Chevy Model Year-End event, and we've just extended the best offer ever on the all-new Silverado Crew Cab. 0% APR for 60 months on Silverado half-ton crew cabs for well-qualified buyers. Just click and go online to find the one you want, then get to your Chevy dealer. That's right, we've just extended 0% APR for 60 months on Silverado Crew Cab. Click on ChevyDriveChicago.com, then see your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealer.
Hey, Cubs fans, tune in to Comcast Sportsnet all year to watch your team and the LoJack caught stealing play. Then visit Cubs.com/LoJack to enter to win a 2008 spring training trip. LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police.
Make a smooth approach. Make smooth contact with Electric Shave Pre-Shave Lotion. Stands up whiskers for up to a 52% closer shave. Electric Shave. Blade close, electric smooth.
Buffalo Wild Wings, you have to be here.
Cubs fail to score. Now the Astros Southwest starting lineup coming in 14th in the National League in runs scored. Hunter Pence leads it off. He's had a terrific rookie year. Craig Biggio is ending his career after this season. Berkman, Lee, Loretta, Luke Scott out in right. Ty Wigginton, the third baseman, and the battery tonight for the Astros, Quintero and Backey.
Take a look at the Cubs defensively, brought to you by Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. Soriano, Jones, and Floyd across the outfield. Ramirez, Terrio, DeRosa, Lee once again across the infield. Jason Kendall behind the plate tonight for the right-hander, Jason Marquis. This is his fourth start of the season against the Houston Astros. He has a win, a loss, and a no decision in his previous 3.
And he wanted to wish his daughter Reese a happy 3rd birthday. She turned 3 yesterday. You see the U.S. flag on the side of the cap of Jason Marquis and the rest of his teammates. This, of course, is the 6th anniversary of the horrific terrorist attacks on the United States, September 11th, 2001. As Mark DeRosa will drift into the grass and make the catch. Hunter Pence is out. And before the ball game on this day of remembrance, the Astros honored several local servicemen and women, and they got a great hand here in Houston. Byron Police Department. First pitch is thrown tonight. And a big hand for Craig Biggio, who comes in with 3,047 hits, 665 doubles. Make it 3,048 hits and 666 career doubles. So he just passed George Brett and into sole possession of 5th on the all-time doubles list. A 1-out 2-base hit.
And Marquis catches way too much of the plate against Craig Biggio. It is early, still trying to settle in on the mound out there, but Biggio's struck out 100 times this season against only 19 base on balls. He is very much a free swinger, likes to attack early in the sequence. That time Jason just gave him too good a pitch to hit.
Biggio has more doubles than any right-handed batter in Major League history. Everybody ahead of him a lefty. Here's Lance Berkman, and blocked by Kendall, kept it out in front of him. 1 ball, no strikes on the switch hitter, who is 19 out of 34 with a bunch of extra base hits and 11 walks versus Jason Marquis.
Yeah, I think you'd call those gaudy numbers. A .559 lifetime batting average against the Cubs right-hander.
5 doubles, a triple, and a home run. Check swing, strike.
And it has to be tempting, given those career numbers against each other, for Jason Marquis to pitch around Berkman. If he walks him, he walks him. But then you have Carlos Lee lurking in that on-deck circle. He's a .304 lifetime hitter against Jason Marquis, although he does ground into a lot of double plays.
Saw Berkman among the leaders in many offensive categories in Colt 45/Astros history. It's going to be right behind the Astros dugout. We talked about this anniversary today, and I'm sure it hits home for Jason Marquis even a little bit more. He's from New York City. Attended Tottenville High School on Staten Island. The Yankees are on the road tonight in Toronto. And the Mets are hosting Atlanta, and they trail 3-0 early on. Derek Lee will take it unassisted. So 2 outs. Biggio's now at third base. And it's Carlos Lee coming up. Always have to be careful with him. He leads the National League with 30 go-ahead RBIs. He's 3rd in the league overall with 105, but it seems like he comes up with the big ones when the Astros need him. Now, having said that, Houston right now 19 games under 500. Their next loss will clinch a losing campaign. And Bob, this is a franchise that is not used to losing. This will be just the 2nd sub-500 campaign since Drayton McClain purchased the team in 1993. 2000 was the other losing season. And right now they have 81 losses. So unless they win out, which would mean 19-game winning streak to end the season, they're not going to have a 500 or better record. They have lost their last 5 in a row. Just completed a 2-7 trip. Swing and a miss. So they went with a 2-0 slider and got Lee to go after it.
You know, one of the trademarks of the Astros over the last number of years has been their ability to bounce back in the second half of the season after a poor start. You see that 2-0 slider gets Carlos Lee way out in front. I think a lot of the Astros fans and maybe even the players and coaching staff were counting on a similar late season kick this year, but up to this point it just hasn't happened.
Well, you think about how quickly the White Sox and Astros have fallen. Big strike there for Marquis, and Lee did not like the call at all. 2-2. That's a big pitch.
The difference between having a hitter in a 2-2 count where he has to be a little more defensive as opposed to a 3-1 count where he can be very selective and very aggressive. That's a huge swing pitch in the at bat.
Now Jason feels like he has a shot to get him. As a sign from Kendall. And the pitch popped him up. Derek Lee will make the catch. And the Astros get a hit, but no runs. We've completed one. 0-0.
Ask for Pennzoil. Get an oil change with 5 quarts of Pennzoil and a Fram filter for just $12.99 at AutoZone.
What was once a measure of precision is now being taken for a little drive. An available 6-speed automatic, paddle shifters, and highly responsive electronic power steering. The Lexus IS. At your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
What do you think of Mike Wallace and the Geico Chevrolet?
Whatever. He's out there selling car insurance. I'm out there to win.
Isn't he your cousin?
I didn't say I wouldn't go fishing with the man. All I'm saying is, he comes near me, I'll put him in the wall.
But you don't race in the Busch Series.
Listen, go-kart track, grocery store, those remote-control boats. When it comes to Mike Wallace, the story ends with me putting him in the wall.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, 19 to go, including this one. The Cubs right now tied for first with Milwaukee, and Lou Piniella talked before the ball game about learning how to play with the lead.
Within yourself.
It's a mindset. It's confidence. It's having confidence in yourself as an individual and in your teammates and your team to get a job done. And once you do it once, like I said, it's so much easier to do it the second time.
You had to convince these guys to have.
So he talked about controlling your own destiny and just the idea of learning how to play ahead. He said it's a lot easier than chasing. Mark DeRosa skies one out in his center, and as high as he hit it, it wasn't anywhere near the rafters. It's a pretty good poke straight up. That's why they have engineers who know what they're doing.
Every ballpark that has a roof, the first time a team comes in, whichever coach on the staff is best at hitting pop-ups with a fungo goes out in the middle of the field and tries to see if he can hit the roof, just to see if it comes into play. And in some of the enclosed ballparks, it does come into play. I would be amazed if somebody hit those rafters tonight.
Jock Jones coming off a 3-hit performance. 1 out, nobody on. Breaking ball caught the inside corner. 1 strike on Jock. Back he winds and fires again. And another one for a strike. 0-2. So you buy what Lou is saying about learning how to play with a lead and not getting caught up in the emotional roller coaster and just kind of getting things done, I guess is what he said, before they have to be done.
Well, and for me, the most important thing he said was not only having confidence in yourself that you can get the job done individually, but confidence in your teammates. I mean, just the nature of this game, you're going to fail 7 times out of 10 at the plate, even when you're going good. And there are are going to be occasions between now and the end of the season where you need the guy hitting behind you in the lineup to pick you up, whether it's to advance a runner, to drive somebody home from third. And having that confidence in your teammates takes a lot of pressure off each individual. Just because you don't get it done, the guy behind you in the lineup may get it done.
Boy, nice swing by Jock. He was able to golf that ball, a little 1-iron over Craig Biggio. A 1-out single.
Now, we talk a lot about the players' pregame routine. As you see Jock golf one out there to right field. As you said, Quintero was going down to block that ball in the dirt, and Jock didn't let it get to the dirt. But JJ in his pregame preparation is the first guy out on that left field foul line every day. He runs his sprints. He stands out there, and I am assuming that mentally he's facing a pitcher. He takes his stance. He takes his practice swings. He takes his stride, takes a swing, or takes a pitch. Just try to mentally prepare himself for what he's about to go through in a ball game, and he's as consistent with his pregame preparation as anybody on the team. He was the only Cub standing out on that left field line a half hour before game time.
Well, Backey has utilized his slider well here early on. 1 strike on Kendall. And on that routine, I would think that guys who are very stringent early on in their careers with that routine, that helps them late in the season. No one is hit foul. By that I mean if you don't have a specific routine, I would think late in the season when you're tired physically and even mentally, it'd be very easy to drift away. And if you don't have something specific that you do, you can blow it off easily. But if you get in the habit of I have to do this before every game, then there's no thinking about what I need to do. You just go out and do the same thing you've done every single day.
Yeah, and if you do have physical reasons that maybe you need to throttle back a little bit, you have a baseline. This is what I do every day. Yeah, maybe I need to do a little more, maybe I need to do a little less, but at least you know what you need to do physically and mentally to prepare for a ball game. And the more consistent you can be with that preparation, the easier it's going to be to play this game.
One of the topics before this ball game has been about Ryan Theriot in particular. His numbers have gone down. He did walk his first time up, but he has not been getting on base a whole lot. You see Milwaukee now leading 4-0. Corey Hart with a home run. They're in the 6th inning in Pittsburgh. And the question is, how much rest do you give a guy like Theriot with just 19 left in the season? He might get the night off tomorrow. The pitch to Kendall. That is a fair ball. And it rolls all the way to the corner. Jones is going to be sent around by Quaddy. Lee finally picks it up. The relay throw will not be made, and Kendall gives the Cubs a 1-0 lead. Boy, that was perfectly placed where the stands jut out right near the foul line, about halfway between the bag and the foul pole. If it had hit that little pitch count board, Jones might not have been able to score. You see that neon sign there, but it didn't hit it.
That ball held its line all the way down into the left field corner. Carlos Lee had all kinds of trouble picking the ball up down there. This is a tough ballpark for a third base coach to send runners on balls hit in that left field area, either down the line or over a little bit into left center, because it is so close to home plate. That time Carlos Lee obliged the Cubs, had a little trouble picking it up and getting it back to the infield, and Jock Jones, hustling all the way around, scores easily. Getting back to Theriot, the most games he had ever played in a season, minor leagues or major leagues, was 130 back in 2002 when he was in A ball, and he's over that number this year. So getting into uncharted territory for a guy that probably didn't anticipate playing as much as he has going into the season. I mean, Ryan was going to be the super utility player, but stole that shortstop's job and is experiencing what a lot of young players go through in the last month of a major league season. Those extra games tacked on to the end make a big difference.
Well, he insists that he's fine physically, and even if he doesn't feel 100%, I know he'd tell you that, look, we're at that point in the season where I'm going to go every single day. Popped up by Marquis. Carlos Lee camps under it. Kendall holding at second base, 2 outs. And these are those tough situations for managers, I think, because you want to make sure he's fresh. You want to have the most productive number 2 hitter and shortstop in your lineup, but you also kind of feel like Ryan Theriot is a big reason why the Cubs are in the position they're in, and I'm sure he wants to keep him in the lineup as much as possible.
Well, that's what would really help for the rest of the ball club to, as we saw yesterday, to start put some runs on the board, start driving in some runs, hitting the ball in the gap, making things happen. It would make it a lot easier for Lou to give Ryan a day or two off and run Ronnie Cedeno out there and let Theriot kind of recharge his batteries a little bit physically and mentally, but it's a hard thing to do this time of year. As you mentioned, he's such an important part of this team. And regardless of what his numbers are doing, going up or going down, you get the same high energy effort every day from Ryan Theriot.
Oh, Soriano got hit. And what's the call here? Are they saying he got hit? Because the Astros are claiming it hit his bat and Soriano is out. I think Andy Fletcher said it hit him. Home plate umpire Andy Fletcher immediately pointed to first base, I believe, to indicate that that ball hit Soriano, but the Astros are going to say that it hit the knob of the bat and it was a fair ball. So now the umpires are going to get together. The first concern from the Cubs perspective is that Alfonso is all right. Like it got him on the wrist. Boy, that was a scary moment.
And what they're trying to do now is determine if any one of the 4 umpires had a definitive view of where that ball hit. Did it hit the knob of the bat and go into play? Did it hit Soriano and go into play? Well, it looks like it gets him on the heel of the hand. Unfortunately, that hand is wrapped around the knob of the bat. That ball ricocheted onto the field of play pretty hard, and I think that's going to be the Astros argument. If that hit him in the hand, it probably would have dropped straight down. If it caught the knob of the bat, it bounced into play, and they're going to give Soriano first base. He was hit by the pitch. No bat on ball right there.
You know, Bob, one of the things I think in his favor, and we can check it out more closely the next time he comes up, is a lot of guys actually have their bottom hand over the end or the knob of the bat. You can kind of see it, but it's not like it's sticking out. He doesn't choke up at all. I'm not sure that that pitch really had much of a chance to hit the knob.
Yeah, he's got his pinky finger and part of the heel of his hand down over the knob of the bat. Unfortunately, that's not the way you would teach a hitter to get out of the way of an inside pitch. He turns into it, really exposing those hands and wrists, not to mention his face, to a pitch up and in. Ideally, you'd like to see your hitter turn away from that ball, but Cecil Cooper's now going to plead his case with the umpires, but I don't think he's going to win this one.
Well, the other part of it, as you saw in the replay, Andy Fletcher immediately pointed at first base. And as important as it is to extend this inning and have a base runner, the number one thing is that Fonzie's okay. And secondly, the Cubs have been getting hit by a lot of pitches lately.
Well, after a long segment of this season when it seemed like nobody was willing to pitch the Cubs inside, inside, everything was away, especially to D. Lee and Aramis Ramirez and Alfonso Soriano. We've seen a lot of inside fastballs recently.
How about this note? The Cubs have now been hit 36 times. But they have hit their opponents 54 times. So the Cubs have not been afraid to throw inside. Ball 1 on Theriot. DeRosa and Kendall were hit yesterday against the Cardinals. A 1-0 pitch. Outside 2-0, and Backey has yet to throw a strike to Ryan Theriot on 6 pitches. This is amazing. The Cubs coming in have been hit by the fewest pitches in the league. And they were ranked 9th and hit batters with their pitching staff. Maybe it's that old adage about things having a way of evening out. It's kind of a painful way to do it. Three balls, no strikes. Lee on deck.
Ryan Theriot could be in one of those take 2 strikes at bats right here. 3-0 count. If Backey would happen to throw a strike to run the count to 3-1, I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see him take another strike. Borderline fastball there for strike 1. You got Derek Lee on deck, an opportunity to possibly load the bases. At worst, you continue your at bat on a 3-2 count with 2 outs. The runners will be moving. And we know Ryan Theriot is not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
And they're loaded. Excellent start to the night of Ryan Theriot. 2 plate appearances, 2 walks.
You know, and that's the thing about a guy like Ryan Theriot or a Mark DeRosa or even Jason Kendall to a lesser extent. Even on nights where they're not swinging the bat particularly well, they're going to work some tough at bats. They're going to force that opposing pitcher to throw a lot of pitches. In this case, Ryan Theriot drawing 2 base on balls his first 2 plate appearances of the game. And even when you're not swinging, you can do things to help your offense.
Breaking ball missed. Well, you said it about Brandon Backey. He has gone to his off-speed stuff a lot here early on. Cubs with a run on the Kendall double. They want more. Low and away, 2-0.
Well, it almost appears Brandon Backey has a fear of throwing his fastball in the strike zone. Certainly he's aware that his velocity's down a little bit. He doesn't have the same kind of late movement that he did before the surgery. And he's kind of guiding that fastball off the plate away to the right-handed hitters. The breaking ball has been his most consistent strike pitch so far in the ballgame.
Backey has come up big in the postseason for the Astros. 1-0 with a .295 in 7 career postseason games, including 6 starts. Lee swings and sends it to right in the air. Luke Scott makes the catch. The Cubs have left 5 on through the first 2, but they did get the lead on the Kendall double. It's 1-0.
Free to move about the country.
I inhabit the nightmares of Italian loafers. I've trodden my own path. I have stepped in bull, but never talked it. I have been rehealed, resold, but never replaced. I am a stranger to polish. I have spent more time on dirt than cement.
You're out here for a reason. So are we. Tractor Supply Company. The stuff you need out here.
See that house? I built that house. Hey, see that truck? I built that truck.
The American-built Toyota Tundra. Now with 0% APR financing or $2,500 cash back. Find out more at ytundra.com.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world.
Final voting for the ultimate 7th inning stretch competition is going on now. Visit Cubs.com and help determine who you think should sing the 7th inning stretch at the Cubs game September 22nd. There are only 10 finalists left. So don't forget to visit Cubs.com and vote for who you think deserves the title of Ultimate Cubs Fan. called strike on Mark Loretta. And we are excited to be able to host the winner of that competition coming up on the 22nd at Wrigley Field. Only one homestand to go. The Cubs play just 6 more in the regular season at Wrigley Field. Kind of an awkward landing by Jason Marquis. And that slider, 1 ball, 1 strike. I talked to Jason the other day, and his biggest issue, without a doubt, and now we've had a chance to see him, this is his 30th start as a Chicago Cub, is keeping his mechanics in line and being able to place the ball where he wants to put it. If he's able to keep everything in line, he can go out and deal with the best of them. When he gets into trouble, it's when his location is off. 3 balls and a strike. Now that's easy to say, but I think for him, he is very, very aware of those issues. 7-2 Cincinnati leading at home over the Cardinals. A fly ball to center field. Jock Jones is under it. And we've watched him enough to know when he's a little bit out of sorts mechanically.
And occasionally you'll notice it on his follow through, the way he comes off of the rubber and kind of spins off to the first base side a little bit. Yeah, there are times when he gets a little bit out of sync, and that's more of a physical thing than anything else. As you can imagine, if you have a tight lower back or a cranky hamstring, or there's something that's bothering you, that will keep you from repeating your consistent mechanics over and over and over again. That's a tough adjustment for a pitcher. You know, you work so hard in spring training in the early part of the season to find something mechanically that feels good, a delivery that you can repeat and consistently throw the ball where you want to, and then little nagging injuries prevent you from doing it on a regular basis. I think that affects pitchers a lot more than it does hitters.
1-1 on the left-handed hitting Luke Scott. He gets the start in right. You see Jason Kendall just put his hands out, said we're all right, here we go. The pitch hit deep to right and foul. I guess just to crystallize my point, for a lot of pitchers it comes down to, wow, my stuff was really good tonight, or wow, my stuff was pretty short tonight. I think his stuff is pretty consistent. The velocity doesn't seem to change much. Maybe him more than anybody else, at least in this rotation, it is about putting the ball where he needs to put it. Is that a fair assessment?
Absolutely, and especially staying down.
Lined, and Jones will play it on 2 bounces. Second hit for the Astros. Both have been 1-out hits. Biggio with a double in the first, and now Luke Scott. And that ball was up.
You know, Jason doesn't throw one of those nasty biting sinkers like a Brandon Webb. His sinker has a very subtle movement late in the hitting zone. When it's down, the hitter doesn't recognize that late movement. You end up getting a lot of easy ground balls to your infielder. When that pitch is up a little bit more, the batters get a much better look at it.
Nothing on Ty Wigginton. He has hit in 6 in a row, 9 hits during the streak. A bouncer to third. Ramirez is going to throw to first. That's his only play, and he gets him. Humberto Quintero, the Astros getting a look at him as they look ahead to 2008. They also have veteran Brad Ausmus and left-handed hitting Eric Munson among their catchers. Quintero, a former Padre, signed originally by the White Sox out of Venezuela back in 1997. Excellent arm behind the plate. No one gets away from Kendall. He doesn't know where it is. He better find it quickly. Scott did not take an aggressive turn around third base. So fortunately, it's only one base.
Jason has bounced 3 or 4 pitches already in this ball game. Kendall got over there in front of it in pretty good shape. Looked like it hit off the thumb of his glove and ricocheted over into the Cubs on deck circle. Couldn't find it immediately. Boy, that is a scary feeling for a catcher. You know that ball is somewhere behind you, but you're not sure exactly where it is, and you know that runner is going from second to third. This is another one of those plays where the pitcher is expected to kind of direct traffic. And Jason Marquis was not only pointing but yelling at Jason Kendall where the ball was, and fortunately he was able to find it before Scott could come around third and try to score.
Well, Marquis may be working around the 8-hitter with a pitcher on deck. Slider strike, but Brandon Backey, who is signed as a second baseman, is a career .224 hitter, so he is not an automatic out.
Many times in this situation, you would either pitch around or just go ahead and intentionally walk the 8-hitter to get the pitcher to the plate. No.
Kendall can't handle this one, and we're tied. So Luke Scott scores the tying run. The first one, a wild pitch allowing him to get to third. We'll see how they score this one. Also a wild pitch. He got his glove on it. He just couldn't corral it.
It looked like Jason Kendall was fooled by the movement on that pitch. Very awkward attempt to go over there and feel that glove with his fingers down toward the ground. That ball was a good 6 inches off the dirt. It seemed like he would have been able to just reach across and backhand that ball easily. Once again, that late movement I talked about with Jason Marquis, sometimes you anticipate it, and if it isn't there, it can cause you to miscatch some balls behind the plate.
Well, back-to-back wild pitches. And Marquis had 2 all year. Floyd coming on. He makes a catch on the move. And that ends the inning. But a single and then later 2 wild pitches allow the Astros to tie it. It's 1-1.
Got it wrong, boys.
Happy anniversary pudding.
Introducing the 281 horsepower S80 T6 from Volvo.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago.
If you need to tow it, Quad City Spring has it. Quad City Spring is the area's suspension, spring, truck accessory, and towing experts. From goosenecks and fifth wheels to every kind of hitch imaginable, including Blue Ox base plates and tow bars, strong as an ox. And Quad City Spring installs and services everything they sell. So tow it right. Get your ride to Quad City Spring. Quad City Spring, 34th Street at River Drive in Moline.
Has an unplanned pregnancy got you feeling alone? No one knows how you feel. Not your best friend, your parents, maybe not even the father. Where can you go? Who can you talk to? There is a place where friendly, trained volunteers can help you through this most difficult time. We're called Birthright, and we're here when you need us the most.
Get Chicago Sports News Nightly on Land Rover Sports Night. Coming up tonight after Cubs postgame live, the Bears are back in Lake Forest to get ready for the Chiefs. And a full update of the NL Central race. Join Mark and Pat for Land Rover Sports Night tonight after Cubs postgame live. Only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Well, Jason Marquis in his first 29 starts had 2 wild pitches, but he had 2 in 1 inning, and that allowed the Astros to tie it up. Floyd, Ramirez, and DeRosa against Brandon Backey. returning from Tommy John surgery late last year. He missed just over a calendar year. His last win was August 8th, 2006 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. He has always pitched well here in this ballpark. 12-5 with a 3.70 earned run average. He's from nearby Galveston, Texas. Makes his off-season home in League City, Texas. Went to Galveston Community College, third-team All-American in 1998. And he works behind to Cliff, 3-0.
Thank goodness for retractable roofs. You can hear the thunder and occasionally see the lightning outside the ballpark.
And there's a walk. Yeah, we've had our fair share of rain the last couple of days. Believe it or not, played without a delay Sunday and yesterday.
Well, there is a roof over this ballpark, but apparently there are a few holes up there. You can see it clearly leaking through one of the panels up there before the ball game today.
Now, this is not the only ballpark that's had some leaking issues. Miller Park in Milwaukee has had problems, but you look at these structures and you're just amazed at how they put them together in the first place.
And knowing the way the humidity is here in Houston, that could have just been, you know, ballpark perspiration falling off the roof.
Yeah. Well, maybe inside it has its own climate. Brief little shower indoors.
Little microclimates, yeah. Well, last time we were here in Houston, they had all kinds of heat index warnings telling people to stay indoors. The temperature with the heat index was easily up to 109, 110 degrees. Extremely humid. Very comfortable here today.
Two-strike count on Ramirez. Quintero setting up shop toward the outside corner. Quick throw, and Floyd back in time at first.
You mentioned Quintero's throwing arm behind the plate. That is the one huge advantage he has over the other catchers in the Astros organization. Brad Ausmus and Eric Munson both have had their problems throwing out runners this year. That has always been Quintero's strength.
Thankfully, I believe it hit the concrete there and bounced back. And not a fan or a camera person. It's a screamer.
Or one of the Cubs bench players. Yeah, this was a rocket, a top spin line drive. You see everybody ducking on that left side of the field.
One drilled to left. Carlos Lee's going to have to play it off the out-of-town board. He's up with it. He's going to throw to second, and the Cubs are threatening. First and third with nobody out.
Just need a little elevation on this one. That's a fence-high breaking ball right there. Just spun up over the inside part of the plate. Carlos Lee tries to decoy Cliff Floyd into believing he's going to make a play. And Cliff Floyd correctly decides to round the bag at second and go on to third. That ball was hit extremely hard.
You certainly have to adjust how you gauge fly balls when you come to this ballpark. It's like playing at Fenway Park. Fly balls and line shots that normally would be caught are not caught. Mark DeRosa, deep left field. He's going to find the Crawford boxes. That's a 3-run homer. And the Cubs lead again. It's 4-1. That's his 9th of the year. His first since August 20th. His 46th career home run. I just so happened to ask Mark just before batting practice, do you like this park? He said yes, and he pointed to left.
If you're a right-handed hitter, it's hard not to like this ballpark. I mean, he didn't even get full extension on that pitch. Pulled his hands in close to his body, got the barrel of the bat on the ball, and hit it about 3 rows up into the Crawford boxes. I'll tell you, Mark DeRosa is another guy who's playing at well less than 100%, mostly because of the pitches he's been hit by in the last 3 or 4 ball games. Some of his teammates have taken to calling him bullseye.
Yeah, you ask any hitter, especially a right-handed hitter, about this ballpark, and they're all going to say yes. And eventually the conversation will turn to the short porch in left field.
We talked about the hit by pitch. That was actually Jason Kendall taking one on the elbow in the ball game yesterday.
Inside on Jones, and it's now 2-1.
DeRosa had been hit twice in the span of 3 days, and one on the wrist, one on the elbow.
And he took a shot at BP off the left hip. Berkman to Backey, 1 out.
And I'm sure Mark DeRosa would tell us, hey, it's got plenty of time to heal in November.
That's right.
You just keep grinding right now. And I'll tell you another thing, Len. Your trainers are so important to a ball club throughout the course of a season, but never more so than in that last month if you're looking to get into the postseason. You need to keep your horses on the field. All those little nagging injuries that maybe back in May and June and July you might give a guy 2 or 3 days off to heal up. You don't have that luxury now, and those trainers are some of the busiest guys on the ball club right now. Mark O'Neill and Ed Halber do such a great job with this team all year long.
Also have the Cubs training coordinator Justin Sharp with the team here in the final month. Matt Johnson, the AA Tennessee trainer, I believe will be here in a couple of days, as will the Smokies manager Pat Listash. There's Ed Halber. The Smokies lost the final game of their divisional playoff series to Huntsville. It was a barn burner, 8-7 the final. So that series went the distance, but unfortunately Tennessee came up short. Smokies led 5-3 after 3. They were down 8-5 after 7. In the 9th, Tennessee had the bases loaded with 1 out, down a run, but Huntsville's closer got out of it. So congrats to the Smokies on a terrific year. 3-2 on Kendall. Cubs with their second lead of the night. Kendall made it 1-0 on an RBI double in the 2nd inning. Ground ball to Mark Loretta. 2 away.
I'm sure there were times this year that the guys in AA felt like they were a long way from the major leagues and completely out of sight, out of mind. But that's exactly what you like to see from your organization. You like to see your minor league individual players and teams experience success. You know, we've talked a lot about relying on the veterans in a pennant race. So if guys have been through a similar experience somewhere in the minor leagues leading up to their major league career, that can only benefit you in the long run. Getting used to playing those high pressure games where every pitch and every at bat and every play becomes so vitally important. You like those guys to have that experience before they get to the major league level.
And one guy in particular in the Cubs dugout right now who experienced that early on was Felix P.A. From 02 to 04. He won a title with every team he was on in the Cubs organization. Mesa and Boise in 02, Lansing in 03, and Daytona in 04. That's a nice catch. Ty Wigginton over near the Cubs dugout. Mark DeRosa deposits one into the Crawford boxes in left field with 2 on. After Ramirez had singled, DeRosa with a home run, and it's now 4-1.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Lochak,
the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police.
Try Arby's Market Fresh Reuben on marble rye bread or the rye wrap with corned beef, melted Swiss, Thousand Island dressing, and sauerkraut. They'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Some people see style. Some people see performance. We all see something that catches our eye, like the Pontiac G6. The same fuel economy as Camry, with even more horsepower. The new Pontiac, designed for action.
Now the 2007 G6 sedan starts at $16,895. But hurry, because inventory is limited. For more information, visit PontiacDrive.com.
Grab the new Sun-Times and get the real Chicago story every day. Subscribe at suntimes.com. Chicago Sun-Times. Let's get into it.
Thursday nights at 11, the Moose is loose on Comcast Sportsnet.
It's just me, guys.
This whole party's out of control.
Don't miss Countdown to Kickoff with Musa Mohammed, presented by IPA. Thursday nights at 11 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Sign up for a subscription to Vineline, the official monthly magazine of the Chicago Cubs. Vineline offers exclusive player features, team analysis, Wrigley Field news, and Cubs minor league coverage. Subscriptions begin at just $24.95. Call 1-800-248-9467 or visit Cubs.com to order Vineline today. Mark DeRosa with a 3-run blast and Jason Marquis working with a 3-run lead. Backy grounds to Ramirez. She had better news to report from Pittsburgh, but the Pirates have scored 2 in the 7th and now lead 6-0. Cardinals trailing. Seem to be running out of gas a little bit. They're trying to avoid their 5th consecutive loss. But the one thing the Cardinals can say is they're going to play both the Cubs and the Brewers coming up. So they're not out of it yet. Boy, Hunter Pence has a look that you used to see a lot, but you rarely, in fact, I can't think of another player currently in Major League Baseball who has 1 batting glove. You used to see it a lot back in your era, the bottom hand glove, but now either guys wear them or they don't.
That is kind of odd. Good pickup.
Now, did you wear 2 or 1 or none?
Yeah, it depended. You know, playing a candlestick, we wore mittens a lot. You know, we didn't have batting gloves. We wore insulated mittens. But and when the weather permitted, I like to go without gloves. I like the feel of the pine tar and the rosin on the wood bat. I felt I could always get a much better grip on the bat. But when the weather got cold, like a lot of guys, I went to the batting gloves. And early in my career, as you said, it was just 1. It was just the left hand, and usually it was the same glove you wore underneath your fielding glove. Now we've got guys with batting gloves, we got base running gloves, we got fielding gloves, we got all kinds of gloves.
Drops Allen in front of Jones in center, so the Astros with a hit in every inning. And they've all come with 1 out. It's funny, isn't it, how you get in different eras and guys just tend to do what everybody else does. And Craig Biggio, he played back in the 80s. I bet you at one time he went with just 1 batting glove.
And you can see Craig Biggio's bat. He wraps a lot of tape around the handle of the bat to make it a little thicker. And it's been my experience in the game, the guys that put tape on the handle of their bat usually don't wear the gloves. The tape in and of itself is enough to give you a good grip on the bat. But Biggio not only going with the tape, he's got the batting gloves on today too.
Slider strike.
Tell you one thing we're seeing here, last go-round for Craig Biggio this year, he's not wearing that body armor. He used to wear an elbow guard that at times was controversial because he would stick that elbow out there close to the inside of the strike zone and take it off the back of the left arm and trot on down to first base, but he has removed the body armor.
No pitch.
I'm not a big proponent of that body armor. The only case I think it's appropriate is if you have, for example, a left-handed pitcher who bats from the right side of the plate. You want to protect your throwing arm.
Soriano calling, and he dropped it. He'll have a play at second base, and they get Pence. No error. It'll be a fielder's choice with Biggio taking over at first base. Fortunately, that did not hurt the Cubs.
Soriano clearly calling everybody off. He's got a beat on it. Just takes his eye off it to pick up the runner at the last instant. The ball hit the heel of his glove and dropped to the ground. Fortunately, he got to it quickly. And Pence is out there in no man's land. He does what he's supposed to do on a pop-up to left field. He went halfway and was reacting back toward first. When the ball dropped, he didn't have enough time to get to second. Good recovery.
Not only does Soriano not get an error, but he picks up an assist. How about that?
14th of the year for Alfonso Soriano. That one not quite as flashy as some we've seen.
Berkman hits it right back to Marquis, who plays self-defense, tosses to Lee, and the inning is complete. We go to the fourth inning. Cubs 4, Astros 1.
You've always loved the details, but you've never seen them like this. The full HD 1080p Aquos liquid crystal television from Sharp.
Spell simplicity.
Simplicity. F-E-L-D-C-O. Simplicity.
Close enough.
Call 866-4-FEL-DCO.
Replacing your old windows, siding, and doors is simple. Just call Feldco for top quality at a low factory direct price. Installed by polite, hard-working professionals.
Simplicity.
Feldco.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866-4-FELDCO.
How much are you willing to pay for happiness? At KiaMatch.com, we can help you find a life partner through our compatibility program. It's so easy. It's got everyone talking.
They matched me with a great deal on the fuel-efficient Kia Spectra, complete with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty program, and we've never been happier.
How lucky is that guy? So log on to KiaMatch.com and start getting happy.
Find your match at KiaMatch.com or visit your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Kia retailers.
Thursday, the series wraps up in Texas as Alfonso Soriano and the Northsiders take on the rival Astros, followed by Cubs Postgame Live. Cubs Astros available in widescreen format Thursday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Top of the order here in the fourth. Soriano, Terrio, and Lee. Fonzie was hit by a pitch on the bottom hand his last time up. We talked about the way he holds the bat. You can see the knob, but not a lot of it. There's that pinky finger wrapped right around the knob. Doesn't really give the ball much of a chance to hit the knob. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. 2-1. There has been a scoring change from earlier. The second wild pitch for Jason Marquis in the second inning, allowing Luke Scott to score, has been changed to a pass ball. So that one charged to Jason Kendall, his 4th pass ball.
And you know how much I like to defend the catchers, but I think that's a proper call right there. The pitch was not in the dirt. It looked like we talked about the late movement. It looked like Jason just got fooled a little bit by that pitch and didn't catch it right.
Driven to left. This one's going to be off the wall. Second time it's gone off the wall. I think he knocked the Boston run total completely out of its socket. Got to put that 5 back up there, fellas. No, former Yankee is not a fan of the Red Sox.
They'll probably tell you he was aiming at that. Well, this ballpark, like a lot of the newer ballparks around baseball, a lot of different angles and surfaces out there on that out-of-town scoreboard, and depending on where the ball hits, it will react differently. Unfortunately for the Cubs, that time it came right down to Carlos Lee. Got to throw back into the infield quickly to hold Soriano to a single.
That's a second single that's gone off the out-of-town board right beneath the Crawford boxes. I believe that pass ball will make that run unearned. So Marquis charged with 1 run, but unearned to this point. Ontario hasn't seen much to hit. He's walked twice.
And the 2 walks that Ryan Theriot has drawn in this ball game has elevated the pitch count for Brandon Backey. He's up to 75 already in the ball game here in the top half of the 4th inning. And for a guy coming off of Tommy John surgery, you have to figure that there's a magic number that Cecil Cooper will want to see Backey get to, and that will probably be about it.
That'll be 6-3, about as easily turned as it gets. Mark Loretta didn't even have to use his double play partner, Craig Biggio. 2 outs in the inning. And last night, Troy Tulowitzki of the Colorado Rockies broke a National League record for most home runs by a rookie shortstop. He hit his 20th. And that leads us into tonight's Aflac trivia question. Whose record did he break? Get the answer coming up in the bottom of the inning. Two and nothing on Lee. Well, pretty drastic splits. We talked about how great he's been at Wrigley Field. At 1058 OPS. That's on base plus slugging. 730 on the road. Fouled off. He went after a 3-0 pitch. 3-1.
You don't see Derek Lee do that a lot. Swing at that 3-0 pitch. I think his theory has always been, if you throw me a strike 3-0, you still have to throw me another strike on the 3-1 count. But I think maybe a little impatience over the lack of pitches he's really seen to take a good swing at this season has caused him to be more aggressive in those 3-0 counts.
Well, one of the important jobs of any catcher, and you did it for a long time, is just what Quintero did. Just patted his battery made on the back. As you said, this is not going to be easy here the rest of the way for Brandon Backey, and he's just trying to set things up so he's somewhat close to 100% next year. We've seen him be a lot better. He has walked 3s, hit a batter, and gave up the 3-run homer to Mark DeRosa. Cubs would like to knock him out here in the 4th inning.
Mentioned this is back his 2nd start since returning from Tommy John surgery. He did not strike out a batter in his first start at the major league level against the Milwaukee Brewers. However, he did punch out 10 in his last rehab start for Round Rock. This is a guy that throughout his career has averaged about a strikeout per inning, so it has to be a little disconcerting that he didn't strike anybody out in his first start, and only 2 today. One of those was a called 3rd strike on Derek Lee, a questionable pitch, and Soriano struck out to start the ball game.
A land in the mid of Luke Scott. And the threat is over a hit, but then the double play. Lee walked with 2 outs, and then Floyd flied out. It's 4-1.
You hear about Pensky? No. Got hurt, missed work. Thought his major medical was enough. Poor guy. Didn't have Aflac.
What does Aflac do?
Let's say this is major medical, right? Well, see the hole? That's where Aflac comes in. Helps pay for groceries, rent, all kinds of bills. Major medical? Poor Pensky. He thought he had enough coverage.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Plan your next corporate or social function in one of Wrigley Field's private party accommodations. Wrigley Field offers a variety of private catered opportunities to host and impress your group. The Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments, has 4 convenient rental plans to fit all budgets and needs. For larger parties of 75 to 100, the Batter's Eye Lounge, located in the center field Bud Light bleachers, provides a unique view of the game. All private party accommodations provide generous food and beverage packages as well as VIP parking. Call 773-404-CUBS or visit Cubs.com.
Some days you have to be a superwoman in your 07 Chevy Impala. Unleashing your powers. Protecting the innocent. Or flying the family up, up, and around the way. With a little assistance from your sidekick. And the best coverage in America. And not a hair out of place. The 2007 Chevy Impala.
Visit ChevyDriveChicago.com for great offers today.
Let's get the answer to tonight's Aflac trivia question. Troy Tulowitzki setting a new National League record for a rookie shortstop with his 20th home run, and the record he broke was held by Ernie Banks.
Aflac!
Mr. Cub hit 19 back in 1954. Marquis back to work.
I mean, those Rockies, they just keep hanging around in that wild card race. 3.5 behind going into play tonight. They've got a 6-0 lead over the Phillies, who are ahead of them in that wild card race. So they just won't go away.
Tulowitzki just hit his 21st home run. Matt Holliday with number 28. A roller to Ryan Theriot. Todd Helton with his 13th. Now 7-0. So the Padres pacing the wild card. Phillies, Dodgers, Rockies. Cubs are 4.5 out, but not concerned about the wild card race right now. And if they were in that race, it would be a very, very tall mountain to climb with all those teams ahead of them. You know, I briefly mentioned it early on. You think about the White Sox and the Astros. They were in the World Series 2 falls ago. Busted bat grounder. This will be Theriot again to throw out Loretta. The White Sox came into today tied for the worst record in the major leagues, and the Astros not much better. White Sox at 61-83. Same record as the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the Florida Marlins. The Astros just 62 and 81. That's how quickly things can change. But Ozzie Guillen getting a long-term extension. So he is signed now through 2012. Nice 1-2-3 inning for Jason Marquis. It's 4-1 Cubs.
A lot of car ads are focused on getting you in right now. Like, if you don't hurry, you're gonna feel like a fool. But think about how you're gonna feel when things like gas mileage, low maintenance, and resale will really start to matter to you. Like every day that you drive your car. That's when a Toyota will make you feel like a genius.
Now, get $600 cash back on a new fuel-efficient 2008 Toyota Corolla. Toyota, a great way to keep moving forward.
When the subject is trucks, you've got to know how to work it. Quad City Spring is all over that. When you need organizing systems for pickups and vans, and Adrian Steel custom setups are your mandatory upgrades, Quad City Spring gets the call. Ladder racks, toolboxes, towing, and truck accessories, we've got you covered. When the subject is trucks, Quad City Spring knows how you want to get it done. Got a truck? Work it, baby. Quad City Spring, 34th Street and River Drive, Moline.
Add security with exterior lights from Menards. This 300-watt motion sensing security light comes in 2 finishes, just $14.88 each. Or select this 300-watt dual bright light that turns on at dusk to 20% and brightens to full power when motion is detected, only $26.78. Keep your dog safe with an Initech in-ground fencing system. It's easy to install and great for any size dog, just $99.99. Or upgrade to this model with a rechargeable collar, $169.
Save big money at Menards.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by Midas. Visit Midas for brakes, expert auto maintenance, and tires. And by the all-new full-size 2007 Toyota Tundra.
Brandon Backey continues on 84 pitches through 4 innings. He threw 91 in his 07 debut. Fouled back on an aggressive hack by Ramirez. Average up to 321 with a 1 for 2 tonight. Cubs are going to miss Roy Oswalt again for the 2nd straight series. Hot shot handled by Loretta.
Hey, Cub fans, Monday, September 17th is Kimberly Clark Day at Wrigley Field. Don't miss the action as the Cubs host the Reds at 7:05. Thank you to Kimberly Clark, a leading global health and hygiene company with brands such as Kleenex, Scott, and where would we be without Huggies?
Indeed.
Yes.
DeRosa bounces it foul. So no Roy Oswalt this week. And no Wandy Rodriguez, believe it or not. He has a thumb injury, so he was bumped back.
I'm not so sure which one is better news.
Yeah, Wandy has pitched well against the Cubs. 1-1 this year in 3 starts, 3-4 lifetime. And he beat the Cubs 2 starts ago, 6 shutout innings at Wrigley Field. But with that left thumb injury, he will not go in this series. Chris Sampson, sinker baller up for the Astros. Cubs are a game over in this ballpark, 33-32, but they have not had much success overall in Houston. 125 wins and 187 losses all time. Called strike 2-2.
Well, I'll tell you, Len, it is extremely important to hold down the Astros offensively tonight because they passed out those thunder sticks here at the ballpark before the game. We don't want to hear those in an enclosed stadium tonight, so very important that the Cubs pitching staff continues to handle the Astros. We don't want them banging on those things.
I want to say the 02 World Series. Anaheim, is that where they were brought out? One is foul. Lance Berkman tried to quietly send that one into fair territory, but the problem is they used his left hand. He was hoping it hit a pebble and kick fair, but it didn't.
He just kind of swats it back over into fair territory like nobody's going to notice that, man. It's a nice try.
Was it Lenny Randall who got down and tried to blow the ball foul?
Yeah, on an AstroTurf field. I believe it was up in Seattle. He got down on his hands and knees on a bunt that was rolling down the third baseline and blew it foul.
Good swing by DeRosa, but Lee will make the catch on the track. Jones, one of our favorite public address announcers. Houston Astros.
That's pretty good. Well, it can get extremely loud in this ballpark. I was here for the postseason when the Astros looked like they were going to beat the Cardinals until Albert Pujols hit that home run late. It went from the loudest ballpark I've ever been in my life to the quietest in a matter of tenths of seconds. Just sucked the air right out of the Astros fans.
And up in the lights, he banged it off the glass. He crushed it.
Yeah, it's one thing. I mean, players, they're around the ballpark so much they can tell by sound and by swing. You know, there's very little doubt. You know, that's going to be a home run. But when the fans sense it, you know that ball was clubbed.
Backey with his first 1-2-3 frame. It's still 4-1 Cubs.
Here we can see that the structure of price variance is going to shift unilaterally according to daily expenditures and profit margins. And here on slide 88 of 250, we have a contribution margin.
That's why Southwest Airlines has 6 daily nonstop flights from Chicago Midway to Denver, so you can always catch a later flight. And you can count on us to get you there with our convenient nonstop flights and on-time service.
You are now free to move about the country.
An ancient prophecy speaks of the dragon's return. One good, one evil. This Friday, our world will be their battlefield.
God!
And our only hope.
I need to know exactly what we're up against.
Will be to end.
I'm engaged. Stand by.
Their battle.
Oh my God! We're going down!
Dragon Wars, rated PG-13. Starts Friday.
At GMC, we've been breaking down barriers for over 100 years to create the all-new 2007 Sierra Denali, the most powerful half-ton V8 ever. And the all-new 2007 Sierra Heavy Duty, the most powerful one-ton ever. Part of the most extensive line of new pickups available. That's progress. That's professional grade.
Time now for a GMC Sports Update.
Hi everyone, Gail Fisher here in our downtown Chicago studios with this news update. Ozzie Guillen will be on the south side a little while longer. The Sox skipper agreed on a contract extension through the 2012 season today. In 4 seasons on the south side, Guillen is .333 and .297. He led the club to his first world championship in 88 years back in 2005. Let's go back to Len and Bob now with the Cubs in Texas.
All right, Gail, thank you very much. It's 4-1, and Jason Marquis has looked sharp tonight.
He's looked really good. I think in a roundabout way, he's thrown a wild pitch. There's been a pass ball, but when he's missed the strike zone, he's missed low, which is always a good sign for a sinker ball pitcher. You'd much rather have them make their mistakes down low out of the zone rather than up where the batters can get a good swing at it.
Jason's also done well against this division. 700 winning percentage, winning 7 of his first 10 decisions against the National League Central. He's trying to make it 8-3 as he seeks his 12th win of the year. 1-1 pitch to Ty Wigginton. Now it's 1-2 after that foul strike. You found your glasses?
Yes, I did.
It was a mad scramble to find those readers.
All the way to the back of the booth there. I just kind of swung my hand back when we stood up for the on camera there, and there they went.
It is amazing how you can drop something and 20 minutes later you find it. Good slider as Wigginton strikes out. 6 straight retired by Jason. That's his first strikeout tonight. Notice I wasn't helping at first. Where? Oh, there they are.
And I do have a spare pair. Not necessarily because I'm afraid I'm going to lose mine, but Ron Santo at least once a week comes over here and says, hey, you got any extra cheaters?
That's a fair ball for Quintero, and it'll be a double. The stage manager in the booth, Lisa Jones, coming up with those specs. Cue the Benny Hill music. A 1-out double.
And that'll be it for Brandon Backey, as we're going to see Jason Lane come to the plate as a pinch hitter. Humberto Quintero got jammed a little bit, just muscled that ball down the right field line, and there's that outcropping of bleachers down the line. You mentioned it in left field earlier in the ball game. It worked to the Cubs' advantage. This time the ball ricocheted away from Cliff Floyd, allowing the Astros catcher to chug in with a double.
So here's Lane. The slider's been Jason's best pitch all night. Through the hole. Only good thing here is Quintero had to wait to see it get through. Might not have challenged Soriano either way. This is a good park for Alfonso Soriano, Bob, because of the short wall out in left field, and he gets to play even more shallow, and anything that he gets to, he's going to have a shot at a runner trying to score.
And you mentioned Soriano and his throwing arm, and the fact he has 14 assists this year. A lot of those have come at home plate. He does not have a traditional outfielder's throwing arm. Normally an outfielder tries to get right on top of the baseball to get good backspin, get good carry, and a true throw to the base that he's throwing to. Soriano just gets rid of it quickly like an infielder. Throws from a low 3/4 angle, but he plays his fade as good as any outfielder I have ever seen. He starts those throws a little bit to the first side of home plate. That one hop comes right back to the dish. Once again, Dirty Harry Callahan. A man has got to know his limitations.
Pence will find the gap. Quintero's in. We'll see if they'll try to score Lane. They will. Pence already to third base. 4-3. It's a stand-up triple for Hunter Pence. It's also his 51st extra base hit. trying to win that Rookie of the Year. A lot of competition in this league. Ryan Braun in particular.
Boy, I was watching Hunter Pence run the bases there. Not only does he have real good speed, he's a good base runner. A real short circle of the bases. He hits the bag on the inside corner, uses the base to propel himself towards the next base. He's a good-looking young player.
Grooving to the jams.
Second baseman at number 7, Craig Biggio.
The head shake is what makes it.
Infield's going to sneak in. Ground ball to short. Pence has to hold. Oh, big out. 2 down in the inning.
The Cubs are drawn in all the way around with the exception of Terrio. You can see he's playing like halfway, and I think that confused Hunter Pence. He broke for home plate, then he froze as Terrio charged the ball. That was a huge out right there. If Jason Marquis can figure out a way to retire Lance Berkman here.
And that is not an easy task, but he's going to get him. Not only gets him, but he's 0 for 3 tonight. He went into the ball game 19 for 34 against Jason Marquis. The Astros do get a pair. It's now 4-3 to the 6th.
Make a smooth approach. Make smooth contact with Electric Shave Pre-Shave Lotion. Stands up whiskers for up to a 52% closer shave. Electric Shave. Blade close, electric smooth.
What's the difference between having fun and having none? The Midas Touch Maintenance Package. We'll change your oil, rotate your tires, and do a 45-point courtesy check, all for just $29.95. It's our lowest price of the year. Let Midas help you get the most from your car. For brakes, oil changes, tires, and more. Be safe.
Trust the Midas Touch.
You've always loved the details, but you've never seen them like this. The full HD 1080p Aquos Liquid Crystal Television from Sharp.
For a girl like her, falling for a guy can be a little dangerous. On September 21st,
Not now.
Get ready for a shocking good time. Good luck, Chuck. Rated R. September 21st.
When the Cubs game is over, stay tuned for Cubs Postgame Live on Comcast Sportsnet. All the interviews and press conferences, in-depth game highlights, and Dan Plesek breaks down all the action. Cubs Postgame Live after the game on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Tomorrow and Thursday, catch Bears Blitz on Comcast Sportsnet. Dan Jiggets brings you all the latest news from Hallis Hall, including press conferences and player interviews. Don't miss Bears Blitz tomorrow and Thursday at 4:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Chris Sampson's going to work in relief after Brandon Backey went 5 innings tonight.
23 games on the season for Sampson. 19 of those came as a starter earlier this season. As you mentioned, he's a hard sinker, hard slider type of a pitcher. When he's good, he usually gets ground balls.
Cubs are still on top, but only by a run. But a good night offensively for Kendall with an RBI double. But a passed ball allowed the Astros to get their first run. Sampson goes from the windup, and it's bounced foul by Jason. Cubs can settle in here a little bit in Houston and pack up on Sunday in Pittsburgh. Sleep in their own beds Sunday night. Matinee yesterday against the Cardinals, and right back to the airport and on the road again. And along those lines, kudos to Tom Otis Hellman and his great clubhouse crew. Did an outstanding job getting all the equipment from city to city. I don't think a lot of sleep was had in the Cubs clubhouse crew. And by the way, happy birthday, 22nd birthday to Patrick Bruno, Cubs bat boy. So Otis, Gary, and Tim, and Rich, and Jonathan, and everybody in the Cubs clubhouse, nicely done.
Well, they really are the unsung heroes. You know, long after the players have gotten off the team bus and checked into the hotel room, maybe ordered some room service, watching a movie, Otis and his guys are still down outside the lobby unloading luggage, making sure everybody gets the right bags to the right rooms. They do a great job. Yeah, not only do they have to make sure the guys have all their personal items at the hotel, but they have to be over here at the ballpark along with the trainers to unpack all the baseball equipment here at the ballpark. Of course, they work with the visiting clubhouse attendants at the various ballparks to get that done, but long days for that clubhouse staff.
Marquis on deck. Kendall is hit .331 here at Minute Maid Park. .346 against Houston here in 07. And Quaddy gets out of the way. And the at-bat continues. It's been a long one. 9 pitches already. And he walked him. As we watch Jason Kendall head down to first base, not sure if he'll have a conversation with Lance Berkman or not, but as we get our Coors Light cold blast to the booth, Jim Casaro from Western Springs wants to know why opposing players talk to the first baseman on the other team so much when they're on first, and he wants to know what do they talk about. Now, if Sean Casey were the first baseman, there's no doubt there'd be a lengthy conversation. There'd be some laughs involved. Kendall and Berkman all business. So what kinds of conversations are had down there at first?
It depends on the relationship that you have with that first baseman. Sometimes the first base umpire gets involved. Matt Sinatra, the first base coach, right there as well. You know, sometimes what will happen is a guy will get down to first base and say, thank goodness he walked me. I'm not seeing the ball well off this guy at all tonight. I mean, that's how players on your own team realize how good your pitcher is that night, by what the first baseman says from the opposing team. You know, that's a lot of times how you get a good scouting report. I'll tell you, some guys will spill the beans too. They'll say, oh, this guy for us, he's been terrible lately. He can't get the ball down in the zone. Oh, really? Oh, thank you for that. More often than not, like I said, if there's a personal relationship, if you played together somewhere, maybe played winter ball together, maybe live in the same state or the same city, there's always something to talk about with the first baseman, and they're usually some of the most jovial guys on the team.
Bunted foul by Marquis. Not happy with himself. 1-2. Well, for instance, when Soriano got hit by the pitch, would that be a circumstance where if you knew the first baseman a little bit, you might say, wow, I got a break there?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or man, that really hurt. Where did it get you? You know. Maybe the last day of a series. So where are you guys going after this? Well, we go to St. Louis.
Who are you going to see in the series? Oh, he pitched against us last week. He's got that nasty slider working again. It's just, you know, some casual baseball chit-chat conversation. Jason Marquis unable to get the sacrifice bunt down on the first 2 strikes of this at bat. We'll see what Lou has in mind here with 2 strikes, but that's something I think the Cubs need to follow the advice of Houston native Archie Bell and the Drells from Houston, Texas. They not only sing, but they dance just as good as they walk. You got to tighten up.
Called strike 3.
I mean, just we talk about the little things, getting a sac bunt down, hitting the cutoff man, backing up the bases. Those are huge things. They're not little things. They're huge things if you're going to win baseball games down the stretch.
Now it's Soriano. I haven't heard that song in too long.
A lot of people don't know that Archie Bell was the older brother of Ricky Bell, the great running back for USC.
Oh, really? I have to download that one. Kendall walked, and then Marquis took a called third. Popped up by Soriano, and there's not much room. In fact, I would venture to guess there's less room behind home plate here than in any other ballpark in the big leagues, at least the parks I've been in. Put the fans right on top of the action.
Which I'm sure the pitchers here on the Astros staff really enjoy. He had a short porch in left field. And very little foul territory. Everything is in the hitter's advantage. Of course, the pitchers do have a bailout area. If you can get batters to hit the ball to center field, you've got a real good chance to get them out. It's 436 to straightaway center.
Two and two on Alfonso. Giovanni Gallardo got the win tonight for Milwaukee. 6 shutout innings. Improved to 8-4. Brian Bullington took the loss. He's 0-2. 6-1 the final. The Cubs need to win to stay in first place. Technically right now a half game back of the Brewers. They were shut out last night 9-zip. Tony Armas was really good for the Pirates. Carlos Lee has to move a couple of steps. That's it. 2 hands, 2 outs. The last time the Cubs played in 3 different cities in 3 days. September 19th through the 21st, 2004. They played in Cincinnati on September 19th. They beat the Reds. They then split a doubleheader in Florida, followed by a trip to Pittsburgh. The reason they had to make that detour was because of a hurricane that wiped out an entire series at then Pro Players Stadium. Remember, the game they lost in Florida was started by David Weathers. A rare start for Weathers late in his career. A little bit outside. Ryan's really seeing the ball well tonight. He has seen a ton of pitches.
That's another huge improvement for this ballpark over the old Astrodome. If you came into the Astrodome for a 3-game series, it took 2 games to get used to the batter's eye and the depth in center field. About the time you felt comfortable at the plate, you were leaving town. I'm not sure what the schedule is for the Cubs tomorrow. Usually Lou and Gerald Perry try to get some extra hitting for those bench guys that haven't gotten to play much lately, and I have to believe this would be a fun ballpark to take extra BP early in the afternoon. Come out here with your shorts and then the BP take target practice toward the Crawford boxes.
Called strike 3 to end the inning. Cubs leave 1. They lead 4-3.
When life comes at you fast, you can depend on 2 things: Chevy Tahoe and OnStar. The 07 Tahoe comes with 1 year of the OnStar Safe and Sound plan, including help if you get locked out or your truck is stolen, and diagnostic checks emailed to you every month. And it's got the best coverage in America. Chevy and OnStar, for life at any speed. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today.
Thursday, the series wraps up in Texas as Alfonso Soriano and the Northsiders take on the rival Astros, followed by Cubs Postgame Live. Cubs Astros available in widescreen format Thursday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans bet.
Hot, sticky weather is here. You can try to cool yourself this way or go to the experts at QC Auto Service Centers. They'll keep you cool, calm, and happy all summer long. The highly trained and certified technicians at QC Auto Service Centers will check it out and fix it right the first time.
Hotter than a collar? Don't sweat it. Come see us.
The place to go for air conditioning service. QC Auto Service Centers, keeping you on the road.
So, you're a green person, but which shade? Confusing, isn't it? Well, True Value's Color Made Simple can help. With exclusive tools, trained professionals, and expert advice, finding your color will always be simple. Now let's talk purple. True Value's Color Made Simple.
Meeting the challenge since 1940.
The 23rd Annual Cubs Convention will take place at the Hilton Chicago January 18th, 19th, and 20th, 2008. To reserve a room now for the Cubs Convention weekend, call the Hilton Chicago at 312-922-4400. Weekend passes are $50. A limited number will go on sale Wednesday, November 7th at 10 a.m. on Cubs.com. And you can call 773-404-CUBS or visit Cubs.com. Carlos Marmol is up in the Cubs bullpen. Carlos Lee is at the plate. And it's off the glove of Ramirez. He maybe jumped a little too early and was coming down when that ball hit the leather, and that'll be a base hit.
I think he called it exactly right, partner. It looked like he left his feet quickly, thought that ball was going to be over his head into left field, and then tries to hang in the air long enough to make the play. Unfortunately, kicks off his glove on into left field for a base hit.
Ball maybe knuckled on him a bit. Now Mark Loretta, tying run, is on base. Tell you what, you may not think this would be a hit and run situation, but Carlos Lee can run. He's 8 out of 13 as we check in on the LoJack caught stealing report. LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police, and Mark Loretta, one of the best hit and run guys at the plate in all of baseball. And he drives this ball into left center field, and Carlos Lee is going to be sent by Doug Mansolino. Might be a play. Here's the throw, and it's late. And it's 4-4. Tying RBI double by Mark Loretta. And the Astros, who at one time had trailed 4-1, have come back to knot it up for the second time.
Just a middle of the plate fastball with very little movement. Loretta splits that gap in left center field. Soriano pounced on it quickly, got the ball back into Terrio. Unfortunately, Ryan's throw to home plate was on the first base side. I'm not sure if they would have had a play on Carlos Lee at the dish anyway.
That's it for Jason Marquis. And I'll tell you what, there might not be a better runner who's 6'2", 240 than Carlos Lee. He can really get around the bases. As Marmol comes in, it's 4-4, and we'll be back.
2.9 APR on Odysseys and Elements. More than 1,900 Hondas available.
We make it so easy to buy, even a caveman can do it. Illinois' #1 volume Honda dealer, Schaumburg Honda Automobiles. Over 1,900 Hondas available.
Bob Rohrman.
You owe it to yourself. Illinois' #1 volume Honda dealer is Bob Rohrman, Schaumburg Honda Automobiles. 8 blocks west of Woodfield Mall on Golf Road.
Here's to waking up Thursday and thinking it's Friday.
Brighten up your morning with 2 Egg McMuffin sandwiches, 2 Sausage McMuffin with egg sandwiches, or 1 of each for just $3.
It's Wednesday, dude.
I'm Ryan Sandberg, asking you to help cheer up kids in hospitals.
When children suffer from serious medical conditions, Rhino Kid Care, supported by Ryan Sandberg and National City, helps them and their families cope. Join the cause.
Recognize your loved ones on the sidewalks beneath the historic Wrigley Field marquee. Through the commemorative paver program, you can join thousands of fans in celebrating the day you became a Cubs fan, declared your loyalty, or preserve your favorite Cubs moment. If you're a Cubs fan, how can you pass up this opportunity to become part of Wrigley Field? Each order includes a replica paver for your home or office and makes a perfect gift. So to purchase, visit Cubs.com or call today. Space is limited, so order now.
Spell simplicity.
Simplicity. FELDCO.
Close enough.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Well, one of Carlos Marmol's specialties is stranding inherited runners. And right now, the go-ahead run is at second base with no outs. So he'll face Luke Scott. He singled and scored in the second and grounded out to second in the fourth. Jason Marquis pitched extremely well through the first 4 innings, allowed just an unearned run, but got knocked around in the 5th and then here in the 6th. Excellent job by Carlos. He did allow an inherited run to score the other night, but he came in with the bases loaded, nobody out at Pittsburgh. That was the only run that would score in that inning.
Boy, we know for Carlos Marmol, his most effective pitch, especially in the second half of the season, has been that nasty slider, but it's probably a pitch he would want to stay away from in this situation. Yeah, Luke Scott's job is to try to move Loretta from second to third base. He's more likely to pull a breaking ball from a right-handed pitcher than a fastball.
Now, he did go with a slider, but he kept it on the outer part of the plate. Got the call for strike 2. He went with another slider, and he got Scott to go after it. Buried it inside, and it's a big out. Boy, perfect location, Bob, in those last 2 pitches.
Yeah, one on the back door, one off the plate inside. Carlos Marmol's slider is not the normal right-handed slider either.
Fastball is in on Wigginton. Cubs don't want to let this one get away, especially after Milwaukee beat the Pirates tonight. Cubs were out of first place for a total of 1 day. 1-1. Wigginton came over from Tampa Bay. The trade for Dan Wheeler. That was on July 28th. I see some thunder sticks.
I told you.
Yeah. Trying to do the wave.
Wigginton's been a real nice pickup for the Astros, even though they're going nowhere this year. This guy's come over here and hit close to 300 in his 34 ball games with the Astros. Is yet to make an error down at third base.
Ramirez dives. Comes up with it, throws, and it pulled Lee off the bag. I don't think they would have had him either way. Wasn't quite sure he actually got to that ball. Terrio's trying to get it behind him, but Ramirez came up with it, threw a little bit late. It's a hit.
That ball looked like it was headed toward the hole and into left field, but Ramirez, with a dive to his left, just kind of smothers that ball. Wigginton hustling out of the batter's box just outruns that throw to first base. And you mentioned Terrio going over to perhaps field the ball if Aramis did not get to it, and when Aramis did, Ryan just kept going on to third base. Somebody had to be there to protect in case Loretta tried to advance on to third.
And that hit is not the worst thing in the world for the Cubs, because now it sets up a potential double play with 1 out. Orlando Palmeiro, pinch hitter on deck. Quintero doubled and scored in the 5th. I think he went after it. He did. Mike Riley with the call, 1-1. That's how good that slider is. It was nowhere near the strike zone, but it was good enough. Look how far Kendall had to reach.
Yeah, that ball's over in the left-handed batter's box. Still got a check swing from the hitter.
Astros out hitting the Cubs 9-6. Tied on the big board 4-4. 1-1. He was late on a heater. 1-2. Marmolay converted catcher slash outfielder. He began pitching in 2002. His big league debut last year. Buried his slider. Strike 3.
Just a perfect sequence of pitches. The fastball on the outside corner before this pitch set up that put away slider right there. Pound a fastball in the mid-90s right on the outside corner. You get a swing and a miss, and the hitter was tardy. Then you come back with that breaking ball. He's naturally going to try to speed up his bat to catch up to the heater, and he becomes susceptible to that breaking ball.
Here's a veteran pinch hitter, Palmeiro. Ball 1. Orlando is 9th all-time with 119 career pinch hits. Jose Morales is in 8th with 123.
This is his 65th at-bat as a pinch hitter this season. He only has 95 at-bats for the entire year, so only 30 at-bats coming as a starting player.
Chokes up on the bat, makes good contact. Astros fans are into it now. Their team back to even. Jerk foul. The Astros much better at home than on the road. They're 3 over here. They're 22 under on the road. Worst road winning percentage in the National League. Down the line and foul.
Now they hit 20 points higher as a team here at Minute Maid Park. Their ERA is a full run and a half lower in this ballpark than it is on the road.
Cubs have yet to win a ball game in this ballpark here in 07. They were swept last month. Marmol's 2-2 pitch, ground ball. Derek Lee will take it unassisted to end the inning. Marmol does his job after the Astros tied it against Marquee. 4-4 to the 7th.
You've always loved the details, but you've never seen them like this. The full HD 1080p Aquos liquid crystal television from Sharp.
What was once a measure of precision is now being taken for a little drive. An available 6-speed automatic, paddle shifters, and highly responsive electronic power steering. The Lexus IS. At your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
Wednesday and Thursday. Tune into Bears Blitz on Comcast Sportsnet. Get all the latest news, press conferences, and interviews surrounding your NFC champs. You don't want to miss Bears Blitz every Wednesday and Thursday at 4:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Thursday, the series wraps up in Texas as Alfonso Soriano and the Northsiders take on the rival Astros, followed by Cubs Postgame Live. Cubs Astros available in widescreen format Thursday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Get Chicago sports news nightly on Land Rover's Sports Night. Coming up tonight after Cubs postgame live, the Bears are back in Lake Forest to get ready for the Chiefs and a full update of the NL Central race. Join Mark and Pat for Land Rover Sports Night tonight after Cubs postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Dave Borkowski works to Derek Lee. Ball one low. '57th appearance. Well, his last outing was not a good one. 4 days ago at Shea Stadium, 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 6 runs. I'm going to guess his ERA went up a lot in that one outing.
Pretty safe bet.
It went from 505 to 586. Went up almost a full run.
That's hard to do in the month of September when you pitch regularly the way Borkowski has this year.
(3-2) on Derek. Trying trying to extend his hit streak to 8. 3 homers, 12 RBIs in his first 12 games against the Astros this year. Kind of neat coming up on the next off day, which will be on the 20th. Derek will appear as himself on an upcoming episode of ER. We're going to film it at Wrigley Field. There will be another episode coming up, including a child who has LCA, the eye disease that has afflicted Derek's daughter Jada, and the hope is that it will raise awareness for the disease and the research being conducted to tackle it. So Derek's looking forward to his acting debut, playing himself.
They need any extras for that?
We can find out.
Standing around the background, you know, with their faces painted blue or anything. We could do that.
Sure.
Of course, they would be non-speaking roles, I'm sure.
You could be a male nurse. Now, if offered, would you take him up on it? Come on, it's ER. Is this thing on? Bob can't hear me all of a sudden. Line to right, it's deep, but it's going to be caught. What a leaping catch by Luke Scott. Ball was scalded by Lee, but Scott went and got it.
Talk about adjustments that hitters and pitchers have to make. This time Luke Scott, the right fielder, had to make an adjustment. That ball just continued to accelerate. Looked like it was going to get over his head. A running, leaping catch right at the edge of the warning track, taking extra bases away from Derek Lee.
Cliff Floyd with a solid single. That's his second hit.
Probably see Felix Pie come on to pinch run right here. A tie ball game. That's a huge run here in the top half of the 7th inning, and Pie obviously with considerably better speed than Cliff Floyd. He's a pretty standard move late in the ball game for Lou Piniella. Cliff swinging a well tonight. Hit the ball hard a couple of times.
Strike one on the outer half.
Let's see Rami find a gap right here just so we can watch Felix Pie run. We saw Carlos Lee score from first base on a gapper to left center in the last inning for the Astros. I'd like to see Felix Pie showcase his wheels here.
Also wouldn't mind him take that slow trot all the way around. Ramirez with 2 home runs yesterday, 12 total bases in the 12-3 shellacking of the Cardinals. Borkowski has a sign from Quintero. Slide step in the pitch, fouled back. Borkowski made his major league debut with Detroit. He grew up a Tiger fan in the Detroit suburbs, was an 11th round pick in 1995. Also has appeared with the Orioles, now the Astros. Outside on a slider.
I'm sure Matt Sinatra is going over to warn Felix Pie about Humberto Quintero behind home plate. He loves to throw to the bases, especially when that pitch naturally leads him into a throw in that direction. That time a fastball off the plate away. Quintero dropped down to his shin guards and was ready to snap a throw down to first.
Swing and a miss. 2 outs.
It's that hard slider off the plate away. Do it. Don't do it.
Well, the thing about that pitch, the pitch before, as you said, was a fastball. It was a 91. That last one was a slider at 87. So the velocity wasn't that much less, and it might have looked like a heater. It just had that late movement that fooled Ramirez. DeRosa with his 9th home run and knocked in 3 with 1 swing in the 3rd inning. That made it 4-1, but the Astros have come back to tie it.
An abbreviated swing there, had to shorten up, pull his hands in close to his body to get the barrel of the bat on the ball. And if you do that and hit a fly ball to left, you've got a chance to get it out of here in this park. You don't need full extension. You don't need that picture perfect bubblegum card swing to hit one out of here to left field.
A bouncer to short. Loretto will flip to Craig Biggio. We will keep it here for God Bless America.
And now let's rise and remove your caps on this September the 11th for the performance of God Bless America by 2007 Paramedic of the Year from the Houston Fire Department, Jay Bartow.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
We're not going to make it.
Can you get us to the airport in 15 minutes? It's still cheaper than a change fee if we miss our flight.
As with all airlines, it may cost more to rebook your flight, but on Southwest, we never charge an additional fee.
You are now free to move about the country.
I am your idea, and I'm huge. Tab me, bind me, stack me, send me round. I'm your big idea. You can't stop this. I'm your biggest idea. Enrico moves me, shows me, sends me. Leaves me behind, but never in a bind. It's the big time. I'm your big idea. Enrico's how we go and go and go.
The 2007 Chevy Equinox. It comes with a 5-star crash safety rating and something Ford and Toyota don't. The best coverage in America, including the GM 100,000-mile warranty. Protection never looked so good. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today.
PA remains in the game and plays center. Jock Jones now in right. So we're still 4-4, top of the order for the Astros. Hunter Pence has had a big night. 2-for-3 with a 2-run triple. That swing. You know, we had some fun with the Cubs coaching staff along with Jim McCardle and Mike Wong from Vineline. We played some 16-inch softball, and that's what Pence kind of looked like. He was He was waiting back, moving his feet. He just did it again. Now in 16-inch, you're encouraged to move your feet because the pitch is so slow, but not in this sport.
Not in this sport. You like to keep your base underneath you. Plant those feet firmly in the ground. Keep your body balanced. Watch the back foot come sliding out of there. That's what that nasty slider will do. Pence has proven to me and everybody else in the National League he's a real good fastball hitter. I think until he proves he can handle that breaking pitch, anything a little bit off speed, especially if you keep it out of the middle of the plate, I think that's the way to attack him.
Another 0-2. He bailed again and didn't swing that time. I mean, based on what we've seen and what you just mentioned, can he throw him a fastball here? I guess if it's up enough, right?
Yeah, put it in a good location. Yeah, either on the outside corner or further away, inside corner or further in. Just avoid those fastballs middle of the plate, especially up. He seems to have a real quick bat on that fastball, but as we've seen, he gets a little wobbly legged on the breaking pitches.
Drives that one foul. Barely foul. And it was a slider. We'll check out the location. It's probably not where Carlos wanted it.
I think that one hung up over the plate a little bit there, and after seeing a number of them in this at bat, he's starting to get a better read on that pitch out of the hand of Carlos Marmol. And of course, with a 2-strike approach, he cut down on his stride, wasn't moving his feet very much at all on that particular pitch.
Another 2-2, and he was wobbly kneed again, but was able to hang in. Struck him out. That was a fastball, well located. That was a fun sequence to watch.
Well, and you have to figure that Carlos Marmol and Hunter Pence are going to hook up a number of times over the years. One of the bright young pitchers in the National League, one of the best young players in the National League, both in the same division. They're going to get plenty of opportunities to hook up against each other.
Chad Qualls up in the Astros bullpen. Strike one on Biggio, doubled his first time for his 3,048th career hit. This will be the last series Cubs will face Craig Biggio. Swung and missed at a slider. 0-2. Brewers won, Cardinals lost. Cubs are tied. And he struck him out. Marmol has recorded 5 outs. 4 have been swinging strikeouts.
Another real good fastball hitter at the plate that has problems with those sharp late breaking sliders. A couple of very feeble swings from the future Hall of Famer there against Carlos Marmol. Craig Biggio now 1 for 10 lifetime against Marmol.
Berkman went 0 for 3 against a guy he normally does a lot of damage against, Jason Marquis. The line for Marquis, 5 innings plus 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 were earned. No walks, 1 strikeout. Bob Howery loosening. Just 62 pitches for Marquis. Popped up on the infield. Who wants it? Ramirez takes it. Carlos Marmol with another outstanding performance tonight. We're still tied 4-4 Derek Lee is this month's recipient of the Roberto Clemente Award presented by the United States Marine Corps. Time now to remember Clemente and his accomplishments.
Following the 1958 season, Roberto Clemente joined another team photo of sorts when he spent 6 months fulfilling a commitment with the United States Marine Corps Reserves. He remained in the reserves until 1964, and in 2003, the Marines honored Clemente, one of baseball's greatest, by inducting him into the Marine Sports Hall of Fame.
We're America's largest refiner, and some of the vehicles we fuel don't travel on roads. For those that do, we make some of the cleanest gasoline on the planet, and every drop is performance guaranteed. And our employees contribute over 200,000 hours a year in our communities. We know you probably don't think about these things when you think of Valero. That's okay, just as long as when you do think of us, you think of this. Valero, the energy to take you anywhere.
Stop, Hub! Where should we sit? Right at first base. Wait, how about along the third baseline? Wow, this is great. Just like having season tickets. Looking for great seats? Buy tickets from other fans. Have extra tickets? Sell them to other fans. Go to StubHub.com today for tickets to the hottest sports, concert, and theater events, even if they're sold out. Peanuts. Hey, there's still tickets right behind home plate. Let's go for it. StubHub, your choice, your ticket, your experience. StubHub!
Time now for the Sharp Aquas detail of the game in the bottom of the second inning. A wild pitch from Jason Marquis, allowing Luke Scott to move from second to third. And then a pass ball charge to Jason Kendall, allowing the tying run to score. The Astros have come back to tie it twice tonight. Here's Chad Qualls pitching. The score tied at 4-4.
That's been said a lot this summer. His 71st ball game. See, only 73 in the third innings pitch, so usually about an inning per outing.
You make yourself laugh every time you say that. I do.
Inning per outing?
Inning per outing.
Like you're talking about belly buttons or something.
Jock Jones, the batter, and he bounces it past the pitcher's mound. Biggio's going to backhand. He's going to eat it. That's an infield hit for JJ. Good start to the 8th inning.
Well, anticipating a pinch hitter in the pitcher spot, you would assume Jason Kendall's duty right here is to put down a bunt and advance Jock Jones on to second base. Kendall's put down one sac bunt as a member of the Cubs, something he should be pretty good at.
Shows bunt, gets it down. The throw goes to first. Wigginton to Biggio covering. Cubs trying to beat Chad Qualls again. You see the bunt by Kendall. He gave up a game-winning home run to Derek Lee back on September 2nd at Wrigley Field.
Now, normally you would prefer to see that bunt to the first base side since the third baseman has no other responsibility other than to charge that bunt, but Jason was able to deaden that ball on the left side effectively enough to move Jock up to second base.
And Darrell's not going to get a chance here to drive in that go-ahead run. He'll be intentionally walked and then probably will be removed for a pinch runner. Soriano on deck. They're going to go after Soriano instead. Well, you want to get the lead here and get the win, but well, if you could get it for Carlos Marmol, he deserves it. 2 impressive shutout innings for Marmol.
It looks like Sam Fuld with a helmet on, already starting up the steps of that third base dugout. Come on to run for Darrell Ward. He'll go on down, touch the bag, and immediately be relieved.
Here's Fuld running for Ward. Here we go. The pitch to Soriano popped up. Infield fly rule caught by Loretta. For 2 outs.
They got a good pitch to hit. Looked like a backup slider that stayed on the inside part of the plate. Unfortunately, Soriano gets under it. Very nearly hit the rafters up on the retractable roof here at Minute Maid Park, but comes down harmlessly in the glove of Mark Loretta.
Chance now for Terrio. 2 down. Jones at second. Fold is at first. Deep left center. Carlos Lee reaches out. He caught it. Oh, what a catch by Carlos Lee. I don't know if the Cubs even know. Terrio just slammed his helmet down. Jones and Fold came all the way around thinking they had scored. Carlos Lee made one of the greatest catches you'll see. Oh, man. And we remain tied. It's still 4-4. Wow.
I've always had this dream to be a car designer. From a very early age, I was drawing cars on every piece of paper I could find. And at age 11, I wrote Cadillac. And I was very interested in what was it that I needed to do to become a designer. I'm still following their advice, and my dream cars, they came true.
When you need to mix it or fix it, don't risk it. Turn to the friendly experts at Heyman's Westside Ace Hardware. From painting to plumbing, electrical to pipe cutting, Westside Ace has everything to help you with those home repairs, including screens and window repairs, key duplication, and complete sharpening service. And a huge selection of nuts, bolts, and washers, sold in packages or individually. Heyman's Westside Ace, conveniently located at 4th and Division in Davenport. When you need it fixed.
Bigger, better, bitter.
Bigger, better bundle. Bigger, better bumble. Bigger.
Wait, getting better TV is easy with the digital 2-star pack, part of the Bigger, Better bundle, with up to 43 channels of Stars and Showtime, plus 2,000 on-demand titles that you can start, rewind, pause, and fast forward with your remote.
Can't do that with a dish.
Get the Mediacom digital 2-star pack with Showtime on demand for only $9.95 a month for a year.
Call 1-800-CABLE-TV. Good call.
Stay tuned for Bacardi Late Night on Comcast Sportsnet. Time now for a Cadillac Sports Update.
The Pirates pounded the Brewers last night. Tonight, Milwaukee got some revenge. Prince Fielder hit his league-leading
fly ball to right
of the season as the Brewers beat the Pirates 6-1. So the Cubs right now are a half game out of the division lead. Remember, Cubs Postgame Live is coming up following the game. Now let's go back to Len and Bob.
Well, Gail, I'll tell you what. I would have bet $1 million when that ball was in the air that it was not going to be caught. Carlos Lee stretched out and saved 2 runs.
If anything, you expected Hunter Pence to close ground and maybe make that catch in left center, but Carlos Lee has played in every ball game this summer for the Houston Astros. Somehow finds enough in those legs to run that ball down. I thought sure that was a gapper and at least a couple of runs.
And I get a little nervous because he's going to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning in a 4-4 tie. It's against Bob Howard. I mean, this game was 6-4, and then it wasn't. Watch how much ground Carlos Lee covers here. Well, we told you he can run, and he just proved it again. He went first to home back in the 6th inning to tie it on the double by Loretta. Bob Howard with his 70th appearance. So Lee continues to be a Cub killer. I'll tell you, there's been a lot of criticism of the Astros for signing him to a 6-year, $100 million deal, but he's been really, really good.
Man, it's hard to believe how much worse the Astros would be without Carlos Lee this year. He's a very underrated player. Unless you watch him on a regular basis and see plays like we just saw right there, see him steal a base when his team needs him to get into scoring position, and certainly what he does up there at the plate with a bat in his hands and runners in scoring position is why they brought him over here. But he's a lot more complete player than people give him credit for.
Two and two the count.
Well, and you would certainly assume that Bob Howry's going to do what he always does, hammer away at that outside corner, try to keep the ball away from the short porch in left field. Done a nice job against Carlos Lee in his career. 1 for 6 is Carlos Lee against Bob Howry with 3 strikeouts.
Two on the way. It's high. Full count. Loretta next. He tied it with that double in the 6th. And foul tipped into the mid. He struck him out. 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Bob Howry.
70th appearance of the year for Bob Howry. His velocity has been creeping up since the beginning of the second half of the season. He saved some of his best for the last.
Veteran Loretta filling in at short with Adam Everett out with a broken leg. Brad Lidge throwing in the Astros bullpen. The Cubs feel right now, but I think we're both stunned at how that last half inning ended. And if you are the Cubs right now, you have to forget about it and understand it's still tied. Just unbelievable. The Cubs put themselves in a great position to take the lead in the top of the 8th. Can't blame Ryan Terrio. He did everything he could get it out in the gap, but Lee ran it down.
That's one of those plays I think the scoreboard operator here at Minute Maid Park probably had his finger on the run button, ready to put a couple on the board for the Cubs. Everybody in the ballpark surprised at that catch that Carlos Lee made in left center.
Easy play for Aramis. Pops the mitt, shoots it across. Loretta's out. Playing the theme from Star Wars with Luke at the plate. Fastball and knocked Luke Scott to his knees. Got back up quickly.
This is where you get a little concerned about the matchup. Bob Howry pitching to a left-handed pull hitter. We know he's wired in on the outside corner to a right-hander, which is down and into a left-handed hitter. That's a dangerous area to Luke Scott. And you see Jason Kendall slides out on the outside corner. Howry hits his spot.
1-1 on Scott. Wigginton would hit next. Hey, a happy 18th anniversary to Karen Sherman. That's from her loving husband, Ben. Karen watching tonight, rooting for the Cubs. 1-2. Calm, cool, and collected Bob Howery. We get to see these guys behind closed doors. He's a pretty lighthearted guy in the clubhouse. Not on the mound. He strikes out 2 in a 1-2-3 8th inning. We're going to go to the 9th. Lead, PA, and Ramirez due up 4-4.
I see skies of blue.
Some find it by mixing exercise with play. Some gain it by showing others the way, while others discover it in the beauty of nature. It's wellness. And at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, yours means the world to us. Because when it all comes together, we want to give you the inspiration to experience wellness everywhere.
What a wonderful world.
Some people see style. Some people see performance. We all see something that catches our eye. Like the Pontiac G6. The same fuel economy as Camry, with even more horsepower. The new Pontiac, designed for action.
Now the 2007 G6 sedan starts at $16,895. But hurry, because inventory is limited. For more information, visit PontiacDrive.com.
After the game, stick around for Cubs Postgame Live. Get highlights of all the action and analysis from Dan Plesac. Don't miss Cubs Postgame Live immediately following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. And we hope Dan will be dissecting a Cubs win. At this point, it'll be a last at bat win for somebody. Qualls stays in. Remember, he gave up that home run to Derek at Wrigley Field back on the 2nd of this month. It's a 2-run shot. Comebacker base hit. Leadoff man is on in the 9th.
Derek Lee now 6 for 10 lifetime against Chad Qualls, and once again you would assume Felix PA coming to the plate with one job to do. Move Derek Lee up to second base. You'll see that clean ground ball back up the middle of the field. I think they're going to give Rami anything to hit at all in this situation.
Slider a bit low, and he walked him.
Well, the change from Aramis Ramirez to Mark DeRosa at the plate may actually give Derek Lee a better opportunity to get a lead at second base. The Astros are playing a slight pull shift with Ramirez at the plate, and Craig Biggio was very close to the bag at second. Derek Lee couldn't get much of a lead off for the Ramirez at bat. Now Biggio has to play a little bit more to his left to plug that hole on the right side, and D. Lee can get an extra step or two on his leadoff. Yeah, Biggio's there right now, but as Qualls goes into his delivery, he moves way over into a normal second base position, allowing Derek Lee to get a very aggressive secondary lead.
Here's a pitch to short, 6-4-3. A twin killing to end the inning. So we'll head to the bottom of the 9th. The best the Cubs can hope for now, extras.
the next generation Nissan Altima. Recently awarded 5 stars for crash safety, the highest mark possible. Yup, it's that good. The Nissan Altima from just $19,800 at your Nissan dealer now.
I am your idea, and I'm huge. Tab me, bind me, stack me, send me round. I'm your big idea. You can't stop this. I'm your biggest idea. Enrico moves me, shows me, sends me. Leaves me behind, but never in a bind. It's the big time. I'm your big idea. Enrico's how we go and go and go.
Well, this heat's not letting up, folks, so you might want to get home with those air conditioners.
Day, grab the beer that starts out cold and ends up refreshing. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Tickets are available now for this final homestand coming up here in September. In particular, the night games against the Reds, September 17th, 18th, and 19th. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Get your ducats now. There'll be a big homestand coming up. 4-9-0. Identical lines for the Cubs and the Astros. Bottom of the ninth. Bob Howery facing Ty Wigginton, Humberto Quintero, and then a pinch hitter. Swing and a miss by Wigginton. Paid crowd tonight, 33,493. Cubs began the night tied for first. Milwaukee won. The Cubs need to end up on top to remain tied. The Astros are in last. Two and two now in Wigginton. Cubs have been in this spot before in this ballpark. You get into the bottom of the ninth and into extras in a tie game, you want to keep the ball away from the right-handed hitters. Kendall's going to slide up and in, and he put it right where the catcher wanted it. Wigginton strikes out. And I should have added, if you're going to go in and up, you better go way in and up.
That's just a textbook example of a control pitcher on the mound who knows where the hole is in the opposing batter's swing. Got to the 2-strike count, went right up the ladder with that high inside fastball, and got the swing and a miss from Ty Wigginton.
Quintero hit it a ton, but he sliced it out of play. Foul.
Strike one. Put the crowd into it. Those who have remained here at Minute Maid Park. A well foul right off the bat.
He's 0-1. Now 2 strikes on Quintero, the catcher. Mike Lamb has a bat in the on-deck circle. He would hit. The Chad Qualls.
Rattles the bird cage of Jason Kendall there. Hit on those little extensions that come out on either side of the mask to try to protect your ears. It caught the right ear protector and spun the mask around on his face.
Terrell went. That's a strikeout. Marmol in relief with 4 strikeouts in 2 innings, and now Bob Howry with 4 Ks after Marquis struck out 1 in 5+.
We talk all the time about high fastball hitters and how you can go a little bit higher than high, throw it a little higher than they can handle. It's very tough for those high ball hitters to lay off that pitch. That time Quintero tried to check but went around too far.
So the pinch hitter, Mike Lamb. Cubs extra innings brought to you by Chevy. Well, it's 4-4, and the Cubs in extras, they've had their struggles this year. 2-7 overall, 1-5 at home, 1-2 on the road. They're going to face the Astros closer Brad Lidge.
Lidge last pitch 3 days ago against the Mets went a clean inning, struck out 1 batter, zeros otherwise across the board.
Have to check. The Astros now in their 18th extra innings game. Wondering if that's right near the top of the major league list. They're 7-10 in extras. San Diego 10-7. Well, actually, there are a bunch of teams that have played a lot of extra innings games. The Rockies 19. 9-10. The Cubs among the fewest, with just 9 coming in. By far the fewest wins in the league in extras, just 2. So they look for number 3 as we get going in the 10th. Jock Jones, strike 1. Kendall on deck. A pinch hitter and a base hit in the left. What an at bat. Jones missed the first 2, but then singled on the 3rd pitch, and he has another 3-hit game. He had 3 yesterday, 3 tonight.
Even more what makes that a great at bat. Jock Jones had faced Brad Lidge 5 times previously and struck out all 5 times. Looked like he was headed for his 6th strikeout, but just reached out there, punched that ball into shallow left field for a base hit. Good battle.
Another potential bunting situation for Kendall. He laid down a sac bunt in the 8th inning. He's showing bunt. There it is. And Quintero will throw him out. 2-4. It's the 3rd sac bunt the last 3 innings. The Cubs have put the leadoff man on every inning, the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Starting to feel like Groundhog Day. I don't want to hear that Sonny and Cher song again in this inning.
Nicely done by Jason Kendall. Deadens that ball on the first base side. And look at that team meeting there on the right side of the infield. Nobody was covering 3rd base. Ty Wigginton, when he saw his catcher picking up that ball, had to slam on the brakes and reverse field to get back in time to make sure Jock Jones didn't try to advance to 3rd base.
Here's Mike Fontenot to pinch hit.
Well, that'll do it for the left-handed bats off the Cubs bench. Fold was used as a pinch runner. Felix Pie came on to play center field. Darrell Ward was used as a pinch hitter and intentionally walked. And now Mike Fontenot, the last left-handed hitter available for Lou Piniella.
Brad Lidge with a long look to get the sign. The 0-1, now 2 strikes, but that's the count Jock Jones was in when he singled to left. He probably wouldn't be in the 10th if it weren't for Carlos Lee's defense. He robbed Ryan Theriot of a gapper back in the 8th inning with 2 on and 2 outs. Lidge's slider at 88.
Man, he's got one of those downers. It's not a sweeping slider that he'll throw right at a right-handed hitter and sweep it across the plate. It goes almost straight down.
Padres have jumped all over the Dodgers. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. It's 6-0. That's a big one out west. A couple of wild card contenders. Padres currently leading in that race. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That was a slider.
Did a good job of laying off a couple of sliders on the outside part of the plate. That time Lidge starts it on the inside corner. Looks like a fastball. By the time Fontenot swings at it, the bottom just fell out of that pitch.
Now, Lidge and Quintero know they really have to game plan here on the first pitch to Soriano, a notorious first pitch swinger. He has reached twice tonight. He was hit by a pitch in the second. He singled in the fourth. 1 for 4 officially. The last time the Cubs scored, the 3-run homer by Mark DeRosa way back in the 3rd inning. We're now in the 10th. They have not done anything against the bullpen of the Astros.
And only the Cincinnati Reds in the National League have a higher bullpen ERA than the Astros. They've been good tonight.
Fourth appearance for Lidge against the Cubs. He's not allowed an earned run. Off the end of the bat. Placed right at the end of the Astros dugout into the camera well. First of 3 here. The Cubs then fly to St. Louis for a 4-game weekend series that includes a day-night doubleheader on Saturday. And it's back home against the Reds for 3. An off day a week from Thursday. Pirates in, and then the final trip to Florida and Cincinnati, and that's it. And the Cubs are hoping they're going to see some postseason action. Soriano broke his bat on that 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Lou Piniella with some encouraging words for his team. Right now they're struggling to find a way to get the go-ahead run home.
That go-ahead run is in the person of Jock Jones out there at second base. He really needs to work a little harder on his leadoff out there at second base. Astros are giving him a lot of room. He was very tentative with his secondary lead. He's got to be leaning toward third base as that ball's delivered.
Fans are on their feet. 1-2 on Soriano. Swing and a miss. And for the third straight inning, the Cubs get the leadoff man on, move him to second on a sac bunt, and come up empty. 4-4.
We're not going to make it.
Can you get us to the airport in 15 minutes?
Cheaper than a change fee if we miss our flight.
As with all airlines, it may cost more to rebook your flight, but on Southwest, we never charge an additional fee.
You are now free to move about the country.
Hear about Pensky?
No.
Got hurt, missed work. Thought his major medical was enough. Poor guy. Didn't have Aflac.
What does Aflac do?
Let's say this is major medical, right? Well, see the hole? That's where Aflac comes in. Helps pay for groceries, rent, all kinds of bills. Major medical? Poor Pensky. He thought he had enough coverage.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
A lot of car ads are focused on getting you in right now. Like, if you don't hurry, you're gonna feel like a fool. But think about how you're gonna feel when things like gas mileage, low maintenance, and resale will really start to matter to you. Like every day that you drive your car. That's when a Toyota will make you feel like a genius.
Now, get $600 cash back on a new fuel-efficient 2008 Toyota Corolla. Toyota, a great way to keep moving forward.
Ryan Dempster will pitch the 10th inning. Hunter Pence will lead it off. His last at bat, not very comfortable. Just watch his feet against Carlos Marmol. A real tough time keeping his feet in one place. He kept battling Marmol and would eventually strike out on a high fastball. Pence 2 for 4 with an RBI triple tonight. He'll now face Ryan Dempster, the Cubs closer. So Lidge got out of the top of the 10th. Great work by the Cubs bullpen tonight, starting with Carlos Marmol. Only one base runner allowed since Marmol came on in the 6th inning with nobody out. Bob Howery with 2 scoreless frames, and now it's Dempster.
Now watching that at bat by Hunter Pence against Carlos Marmol, that's what it would look like if a batter wore roller skates up to the plate. He just couldn't keep his feet underneath him. Noticing a trend in the way the managers use their bullpen in this ballpark. Righty after righty after righty after righty. You're not going to see a long left-hander very often in this ballpark. You may see a situational lefty to come in and get one out, as Pence is going to fly easily to Felix Pié out in center field.
That's what is amazing about Wandy Rodriguez, who has been tremendous at home. Six and 3 with a 2.54 earned run average here. He's found a way.
That's very impressive.
First pitch strike on a sinker from Dempster.
Perfectly located sinker. It had to be, because Craig Biggio is ready to come out of his cleats at that first pitch on the inside part of the plate.
Popped him up. Easy play for Mark DeRosa. 2 quick ones. Dangerous Lance Berkman, 29 home runs. Guy behind him with 27, Carlos Lee. But it was Lee's defense that kept this game tied a couple of innings ago. Squib to Ramirez. He'll gobble it up. And Dempster with a very quick inning. in the 10th. He goes 1, 2, 3. We'll go to the 11th, 4-4.
2.9 APR on Odysseys and Elements. More than 1,900 Hondas available.
We make it so easy to buy, even a caveman can do it. Illinois' #1 volume Honda dealer, Schaumburg Honda Automobiles. Over 1,900 Hondas available.
Bob Rohrman.
You owe it to yourself. Illinois' #1 volume Honda dealer is Bob Rohrman, Schaumburg Honda Automobiles. 8 blocks west of Woodfield Mall on Gulf Road.
Here's to waking up Thursday and thinking it's Friday.
Brighten up your morning with 2 Egg McMuffin sandwiches, 2 Sausage McMuffin with egg sandwiches, or 1 of each for just $3.
It's Wednesday, dude.
I'm Ryan Sandberg, asking you to help cheer up kids in hospitals.
When children suffer from serious medical conditions, Rhino Kid Care, supported by Ryan Sandberg and National City, helps them and their families cope. Join the cause.
Recognize your loved ones on the sidewalks beneath the historic Wrigley Field marquee. Through the commemorative paver program, you can join thousands of fans in celebrating the day you became a Cubs fan, declared your loyalty, or preserved your favorite Cubs moment. If you're a Cubs fan, how can you pass up this opportunity to become part of Wrigley Field? Each order includes a replica paver for your home or office and makes a perfect gift. So to purchase, visit Cubs.com or call today. Space is limited, so order now.
Spell simplicity.
Simplicity. FELDCO.
Close enough.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Well, a game of opportunities for the Cubs tonight, particularly here in the late innings. And a stunning turn of events in the top of the 8th. Ryan Theriot trying to give the Cubs the lead. And Carlos Lee came out of nowhere to make an unbelievable diving catch. Been scored since. Hey, we hope Ryan gets on to lead off the inning. If he does, the attempt to sacrifice him up to second base, the Cubs have done it the last 3 innings and have not been able to score.
Not with Derek Lee. I think you know, you may continue to play solid fundamental baseball if it was anybody other than D. Lee or Aramis Ramirez, but I don't think we'll see D. Lee putting down a bunt anytime soon. But your point is well taken. You know, it's frustrating when you do execute the fundamentals properly. You move a guy up into scoring position. The table is set for the following hitters, and then they go to the plate and swing at the first thing they see and make quick outs.
Yeah, the hitter coming up, you make a great point. I mean, you're not going to sacrifice with Derek Lee, but even if it were Jason Kendall or Jock Jones, a pinch hitter, you might not consider it, considering what has happened the last 3 times around.
Well, Lou may, you know, if the situation arises again, and hopefully the Cubs will score some runs right here and make it a moot point, but maybe Lou would be tempted to play a little hit and run instead. Jason Kendall handles the bat very well. Mark DeRosa, Ryan Theriot, other guys in this lineup, very good contact hitters. Maybe instead of giving up that out to advance the runner into scoring position, you roll the dice a little bit, play a little hit and run, take advantage of that broken up Astros defense.
Lidge's 2-2 hit foul.
Even though the Cubs were not able to push the run across, it is very encouraging in my eyes, the fact that they were able to get those bunts down in very, very obvious sacrifice bunt situations. That's when it's toughest to get that bunt down.
Theriot hustling, but he is going to be thrown out by Loretta, the shortstop. The Cubs have scored just 4 runs in 10 innings plus, but everybody has reached. Soriano twice, Theriot twice, Lee twice, Cliff Floyd got on 3 times, Ramirez a hit and a walk, DeRosa with a home run, Jones with 3 hits, Kendall with a double and a walk. I say all that, you would say to yourself, wow, the Cubs have scored 7 or 8. Well, they have had chances to get more.
Well, Derek Lee is due against Brad Lidge. 0 for 8 lifetime. He has drawn a couple of base on balls, but a good time to see a hanging slider right here.
Yes, it would. Cubs have left 12 on base, 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. 2-1. Lidge, the 5th Astro pitcher. Cubs have used 4. 3-1.
This figures to be Derek's best opportunity to get a fastball. No guarantee that Lidge is going to throw one here, but the 3-1 count is your best chance. Slider away.
That's Felix PA on deck. His only plate appearance in the 9th. He bunted Lee into scoring position. Three-2, hit foul to the right.
Did get the fastball on the 3-2 count. Unfortunately, it was at the knees on the outside corner. Fortunate just to be able to get a piece of that, stay alive.
Another 3-2, and he walked him. And it will not be PA, instead Matt Merton.
Well, Matt Merton is the one guy on this Cubs roster that's had great success against Brad Lidge in his very short career. 4 for 6 with a home run against the Astros closer.
He's also a very good opposite field hitter, and I've seen the right-handers generally stay away from the righties in this tie ball game.
And Merton has that big hole in the right side of the infield to shoot for should Lidge try to pitch him away.
That's first career home run. Goes off the right field foul pole a couple of years ago. On the way is low, ball 1. The home run was August 15th, 2005 off Wandy Rodriguez.
Shocked if Ramirez gets another fastball anywhere near the strike zone in this sequence. Probably a steady diet of sliders from this point on.
Pulled on the ground, backhanded by Loretta. The throw goes to second. He got him. A very close play. Merton called out by an inch. If he gets in, they're loaded with 1 out. No argument from Matt. Let's take a look.
Boy, a very slow developing play. It looked like Merton might have been in there. The ball wasn't hit hard toward the hole. Loretta had to go a long way. Takes him a second to grip that baseball. Looked like Merton was on the back. perhaps a different runner at first base, you might try to steal a run here. Send the runner from first toward second, have him pull up short. Get caught in a run down if the Astros do throw through to second base, and just hope that somewhere along the line Derek Lee can sneak down the line at third and score. But I don't think they try with Ramirez.
Pop foul. Another 1-2, check swing. He held up. Mike Riley said he checked it. 2-2.
Boy, that's very close. And for Mark DeRosa, as many times as he's been dinged on that left arm in the last few days, that had to not be very comfortable to check that swing right there, but he was able to do it.
He's hanging in. Lidge ready for a 2-2. Held up again, full count. Jones on deck. Jock with 3 hits, including leadoff singles in the 8th and the 10th. Top 11, 2 down. Ramirez will go on the 3-2. We'll do it again. Tension builds.
And no doubt the best pitch DeRosa had to hit in this sequence. That was a fastball at 95. Like, that's a good pitch to hit, but it did catch plenty of the plate that time.
Just trying to find a hole somewhere. Not a lot of range in the middle of the diamond. Loretta and Biggio. Full count on them. And the next 3-2, and they're loaded. Three walks in the inning. Here comes Cecil Cooper. The left-handed hitting, Jock Jones due up. He has Mark McLemore in the bullpen. Lidge has thrown 42 pitches. Well, one thing this has done, Bob, it may have knocked Lidge out of action tomorrow night. With this long inning and 2/3 here, Cooper's going to leave him in. I think he's realizing, look, if I can't use him tomorrow, I might as well use my best pitcher in the biggest spot tonight.
Get as much out of him as you possibly can. You mentioned the Jock Jones base hit against Brad Lidge leading off the 10th. That was the first hit Jock had against the Astros closer. The left-hander warming up, Mark McLemore, has faced Jock Jones one time before and walked him. So I think you're absolutely right. He figures I'm not going to be able to use him tomorrow, so let him try to pitch out of this jam that he created himself right here.
He's going to go from the windup. Lee at third, Ramirez at second, DeRosa's at first. No swing, 2-0. Right on the borderline, and Jock got the call.
One pitch, one zone right here.
There's that pitch. Pence, however, is there to make the catch. Good contact, but he made it out. lines out to center. 3 walks in the inning. No runs once again. Still 4-4.
The next generation Nissan Altima. Recently awarded 5 stars for crash safety, the highest mark possible. Yup, it's that good. The Nissan Altima from just $19,800 at your Nissan dealer now.
I am your idea, and I'm huge. Tab me, bind me, stack me, send me round. I'm your big idea. You can't stop this. I'm your biggest idea. And Rico moves me, shows me, sends me. Leaves me behind, but never in a bind. It's the big time. I'm your big idea. And Rico's how we go and go and go.
Well, this heat's not letting up, folks, so you might want to get home with those air conditioners.
Day, grab the beer that starts out cold and ends up refreshing. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Jock Jones is back in center where he began the game. He went to right when PA came in. Merton now playing right. So Soriano, Jones, and Merton left to right in the Cubs outfield. Ryan Dempster still pitching.
Unlike Brad Lidge, Ryan Dempster was very economical with his pitches in the 10th inning to have a 1-2-3 and back out here to take the ball for the bottom half of the 11th.
His first pitch to Carlos Lee is low and away, ball 1. Cubs left him loaded. 15 stranded, 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position for the Cubs. A 1-0 pitch. Popped him up. Ryan Theriot the grab. In a row sent down by the Cubs bullpen. Marmol, Oury, Dempster. Only one base runner the infield hit off Marmol by Ty Wigginton way back in the 6th inning. Two batters before that against Jason Marquis. Mark Loretta tied it with an RBI double. A 1-1 count. Milwaukee beat the Pirates 6-1. Cardinals lost again 7-2 at Cincinnati. So we know the Cardinals are 4 out. Cubs are either going to be tied or a game behind. Cubs have tried to bunt runners into scoring position. Cecil Cooper hasn't been faced with that option because he hasn't had any runners. 3-1 on Loretta. The pitch by Dempster. He popped it up, but this one's out of play. And if Loretta does reach, Luke Scott has not put down a sac bunt all year. 1 out in the inning. 3-2, another foul. There's the Astros' first base runner since the 6th inning. It's also the only walk allowed by Cubs pitchers tonight. Eric Bruntlett will run for Loretta.
The Astros do not run a lot. Bruntlett's 6 out of 8 on the season stealing bases. He does have better speed than Mark Loretta and will probably stay in to play shortstop, you would assume.
Well, let's hope that's the case, because that means we'll be in the 12th. Scott, the left-handed hitter, bats with a huge hole on the right side. 1 out. This is a game that means a ton for the Cubs, doesn't mean anything for the Astros. They're just playing out the string and trying to play spoiler here in late September, at least mid-September, finishing out the season. 2-0. Ryan does not want to walk Scott, put the winning run in scoring position. Drive into the gap. Going to roll all the way to the wall. Bruntlett's going to be sent, and the Astros will win. Luke Scott on a 2-0 pitch hit a gapper to right center, and a very tough loss for the Cubs. Yeah, Dempster gave it up, but the offense, Bob, had tons of opportunities late.
Yeah, they really did. They executed well to get runners into scoring position, but then just couldn't come up with that big base hit to drive them home. Oh, that's a tough one tonight. A great job by the bullpen right up until the bottom half of the 11th inning. The base on balls ends up coming around to score. The only walk in the ball game for Cubs pitchers.
That will be a single for Luke Scott. And the Cubs drop to a game out in the National League Central. They're now 0-4 here in Houston. This is our Nissan drive of the game. It ended it. Pitch was up, out over the plate, and Luke Scott knocks in the winning run.
We talked about the huge gaps in right center and left center here at Minute Maid Park, and Scott found the gap in right center. Good move by Cecil Cooper to put the better runner Bruntlett on at first base. Not so sure Mark Loretta would have scored as easily on that ball hit in the gap in right center.
So the Cubs continue to scuffle in extras. That drops them now to 2-8 in extra innings. And Brad Lidge gets the win. He's 4-2. Ryan Dempster takes the loss. He's now 2-6. Well, special thanks to our producer, Bob Albrecht, our director, Dave Turner, Tamara Anderson, our associate producer, our stage manager in the booth, Lisa Jones, our technical director, Bill Bradley, the executive producer of Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, Jim Corno Jr. Great work by our entire crew. So that'll wrap up our game coverage from Houston. Stay tuned for Postgame Live. The final score once again in 11 innings. The Astros 5, the Cubs 4. Our next Cubs telecast here on Comcast Sportsnet will be Thursday night at 7, the final game of this series. Veterans on the mound. Steve Traxel on short rest for the Cubs. Woody Williams for Houston. In-game scoring provided by Scorepad. And now for Bob Brenly and our entire crew, this is Len Casper. You've been watching Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Stay tuned. Postgame Live is next.
Wow. If the Cubs don't make the playoffs, we'll be looking back at this game, I'm sure. Mark Shanowski and Pat Boyle back in our Comcast Sportsnet studio. Gail Fisher and Dan Plesac standing by with Cubs Postgame Live.
And stick around after that for Land Rover Sports Night. Coming up on the show, the South Side will remain the land of Oz through 2012. We'll hear from Ozzie on his new contract extension.
Plus, a couple of Bears players react to season-ending injuries suffered by Mike Brown and Dusty Dvorak.
And Charlie Weiss responds to Mike Hart's guarantee that Michigan will beat Notre Dame on Saturday.
That's all coming up after Cubs Postgame Live after a short timeout.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
I inhabit the nightmares of Italian loafers. I've trodden my own path. I have stepped in bull, but never talked it. I have been rehealed, resold, but never replaced. I am a stranger to polish. I have spent more time on dirt than cement.
You're out here for a reason. So are we. Tractor Supply Company. The stuff you need out here.
It's the Chevy Model Year-End event, and we've just extended the best offer ever on the all-new Silverado Crew Cab. 0% APR for 60 months on Silverado half-ton crew cabs for well-qualified buyers. Just click and go online to find the one you want, then get to your Chevy dealer. That's right, we've just extended 0% APR for 60 months on Silverado Crew Cab. Click on ChevyDriveChicago.com, then see your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealer.
For Pennzoil. Get an oil change with 5 quarts of Pennzoil and a Fram filter for just $12.99 at AutoZone.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police. Bacardi Rum, if you're going to drink, be responsible. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Pontiac, 9 performance machines, all designed for action.
Drive into the gap. Going to roll all the way to the wall. Bruntlets going to be sent, and the Astros will win.
Luke Scott knocks in the game-winning run for the Houston Astros as they beat the Cubs in 11 innings, 5-4 the final, and the Cubs take a step backwards in the Central Division race. Hello and welcome to Cubs Postgame Live. Gail Fisher and Dan Plesac here with you. With the Brewers winning, the Cubs take a step back, 1 game back now in that Central Division race. So a very disappointing loss for the Cubs who start this road trip on a bad note. And really, they're going to play the majority of their games from here on out on the road. So if they want to win this division, they're going to have to learn to play away from the friendly confines.
You know, and the Cubs have been a decent road team, but this has kind of been the Jekyll and Hyde offense that we saw yesterday's game. 12 runs, runs going up against Brendan Backey coming off of Tommy John surgery. You know, ERA near 5, only making his second or third start back. And you start getting into that Houston Astros bullpen that has not pitched most of the season, and you go back to a team that's struggling to score runs. You know, the Cubs score 4 runs. Didn't score a run from the 3rd inning on, and really they had several opportunities in the 8th through the last inning, and it's just a matter of them not getting the big hit and not being able to take advantage of a pitching matchup that looked favorable in the Cubs' position. They're going to start to have to hit the ball on a regular basis to start to beat these kind of teams.
A lot of missed opportunities for the Cubs offense to get the job done, Dan, as you mentioned. Really, this game probably should have been won in the 8th inning on this fly ball, but Carlos Lee makes such an incredible catch right here. He robs Ryan Terrio of what could have been the game-winning run.
You know, it was a good play by Carlos Lee, not known to be the most fleet-of-foot outfielder, but I think a outfielder that runs normally, that's pretty routine ball. Just with his speed, he made it look like a heck of a play.
2 runners on with only 1 out here in the 9th inning. Another opportunity fell by the wayside.
The double play has really hurt the Cubs the last week to 10 days. They had Brad Lidge on the ropes on a couple of occasions. They allowed him to wiggle out of some opportunities. You know, the Cubs were able to get the leadoff man on, get him over to second base, get him in the scoring position. You know, had a chance in the 11th inning here. Aramis Ramirez hits this ball in the hole, and a very controversial call. It looked like Matt Merton beat this throw. Now, instead of the bases loaded 1 out, you have the bases loaded and 2 outs, a hard breaking ball or a slower breaking ball. And it looked like to me, Jason Kendall was set up looking for a slower type of breaking ball, and he got that hard cutting fastball down and away to a right-handed hitter, and it handcuffed Jason Kendall.
Well, another close ball game, another extra inning game for the Cubs in which they fall short. We have to take a quick timeout as we go to break. Let's check out our Pontiac Opinion poll question of the night. Which NL Central team that's out of the race scares you the most? Is it the Astros, who put up a good game tonight? Is it the Reds or the Pirates, whom the Cubs had trouble with last weekend? Go to ComcastSportsNet.com, click on Chicago, then click on the Cubs page and give us your vote, and we'll have the results a little bit later in the show.
At GMC, we've been breaking down barriers for over 100 years to create the all-new 2007 Sierra Denali, the most powerful half-ton V8 ever. And the all-new 2007 Sierra Heavy Duty, the most powerful one-ton ever. Part of the most extensive line of new pickups available. That's progress. That's professional grade.
If ever you're not satisfied with one of our tires, please feel free to bring it back. Thank you. Discount Tire Company.
Low prices, more choices on the world's best brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich.
Four Seasons, the largest family-owned and operated heating and air conditioning contractor, has simple goals: provide exceptional service at the best possible price and offer products that leave you nothing but satisfied. Call Four Seasons Heating and Air Conditioning today for a free estimate.
Yeah, you know the spot.
Right away, sir.
Welcome to Giordano's. Your table's ready.
Thank you.
How's everything?
Fantastic.
What's your secret?
It's the fresh ingredients, and it's been so for the last 30 years.
We made it good. You made it.
Bigger, bonder, better.
Better.
Better, bigger.
Slow internet got you tongue-tied? Kick your computer into high gear with Mediacom Online. With downloads up to 10 megabits per second, it's faster than any DSL broadband service anywhere, and includes ESPN360.com, so you'll get the game and everything around it. Live matchups, real-time in-game stats, and more. Call 1-800-CABLE-TV and get Mediacom Online for only $19.95 a month for a year.
Call 1-800-CABLE-TV.
J.D. Power Automotive Ratings. Everybody wants them. We've got them. See them for yourself in our new interactive video buying guides, now at thehicks.com.
Lucky you. Your local True Value has everything you need to take care of life's little surprises, and you'll get in and out fast. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
Replace it, repair it, restore it, enjoy it at K&K True Value Hardware, 18th and Grant Street in Bettendorf.
The Cardinals lose again, their 5th in a row. They are now 4 games back. They lost 7-2 to Cincinnati. And here's a look at our 4 seasons who's hot, who's not around the National League right now. The Pirates' Jack Wilson hitting .542 with 9 RBI in the last week. Paparell is crushing the ball with 4 homers and 10 RBI. And the Dodgers' Brad Penny has been lights out. He's 1-0 in 2 starts with an ERA under 2. Now, who's not hot? Jose Reyes is 2 for his last 20. Brian Giles, 3 for his last 19. And the Padres' Chris Young is 0 for 2 in 2 starts this week with an ERA of 8. That's not going to bode well for the Padres, who are trying to win that wild card spot right now. Well, the bullpens, both for the Cubs and the Astros, pitched very well tonight. In fact, as we take a look at some of the numbers here, the Cubs did not allow a base runner. Once Carlos Marmol, Dan, came in that 6th inning, they did not allow a base runner until the 11th inning when Ryan Dempster walked Brundtland. And, of course, that turned out to be the game-winning run. So an outstanding bullpen for both teams.
Well, you look at that graphic, you look at the Astros, and you see 6 walks in 4 hits in 6 innings. So you're talking about 10 base runners, 6 free passes that they were given. And a lot of those situations weren't pitching around hitter type of situations. They were leadoff. They were first and second. There were so many missed opportunities. And if this Cub offense doesn't start taking advantage of it. This was a pitching staff, the Houston Astros. Anytime you're able to dodge Roy Oswalt, which they are able to do in this series, you have to really think about 2 out of 3 or sweeping this team at this point of the season right now. It's disappointing because yesterday the Cubs put their hitting shoes on, 12 runs, some home runs, some extra base hits. They really piled it on, and you were hoping that that would kind of jumpstart them for the remaining 19 games. It didn't happen, but it better start happening quick because teams like this, the Houston Astros, these are the type of teams that you really need to feast on right now.
And just want to point out a couple of numbers. Carlos Marmol and Bob Howry combined 8 strikeouts in 4 innings of work. Both had 4 apiece. They came up big.
That was so disappointing. You look at the results of the bullpen. You see that the Astros bullpen gave up no runs. The Cub bullpen giving up the 1 run. But the Cub bullpen way outpitched that Astros bullpen. The Astros bullpen was giving the Cubs chance after chance after chance to win this game. They weren't able to take advantage of it. The Cubs had a shot to win this game from the 7th inning on and weren't able to capitalize. Very disappointing game.
All right, as we go to break, let's take a look at the StubHub upcoming schedule for the Cubs. The Cubs have 2 more in Houston, then they head to St. Louis for a 4-game series, including a doubleheader on Saturday. We'll be right back.
The upcoming schedule is brought to you by StubHub, where fans buy and sell tickets.
Spell simplicity.
Simplicity. F-E-L-D-C-O.
Close enough.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Spell simplicity.
Simplicity. F-E-L-D-C-O. Simplicity.
Close enough.
Call 866 for F-E-L. DCO.
Replacing your old windows, siding, and doors is simple. Just call Feldco for top quality at a low factory direct price. Installed by polite, hard-working professionals.
Simplicity.
Feldco.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
I am your idea. Color me. Get me noticed. Make me shout. And stand out. Give me Rico color that always works. I am your idea. Make me brighter. Make me shine. I am your idea. Get me in there. Make it happen. In flying colors. It's you and me, and here we go. With Rico.
Try Arby's Market Fresh Reuben on marble rye bread or the rye wrap with corned beef, melted Swiss, Thousand Island dressing, and sauerkraut. They'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
What's the difference between having fun and having none? The Midas Touch Maintenance Package. We'll change your oil, rotate your tires, and do a 45-point courtesy check, all for just $29.95. It's our lowest price of the year. Let Midas help you get the most from your car. For brakes, oil changes, tires, and more. Be safe.
Trust the Midas touch.
Grab the new Sun-Times and get the real Chicago story every day. Subscribe at suntimes.com. Chicago Sun-Times. Let's get into it.
The turbocharged Acura RDX with super handling all-wheel drive. The perfect balance of exhilaration and control. Rain isn't a problem. It's an inspiration. Acura Advance.
Take advantage of attractive lease rates on the 2008 Acura RDX for well-qualified customers.
Here's a look at our Geico quote of the day. It's Lou Piniella on his much-talked-about beard. Lou shaved it off today and told the media before the game, quote, "I didn't get the face massage, but I got a good shave and a trim, and I'm ready to go." Too bad it wasn't a lucky charm for his team tonight. Let's check out our Pontiac Opinion Poll question results. Earlier in the show, we asked which NL Central team that's out of the race scares you the most.